Chapter 2023, Youluo Devil Kingdom? Chapter 2023, Youluo Devil Kingdom. The young lady was being pursued by Rhe enemy. Although Lu Ming looked very young and might not be very powerful, as long as she could hold him off for a while, she would have a chance to escape. I'm sorry, but I don't have Rhe strength to help you. Lu Ming shook his head and retreated even faster, distancing himself from the stunning woman. Seeing that Lu Ming was not willing to help her, the beautiful woman could only grit her teeth and fly in another direction. Before she left her, she cast a few hateful glances at Lu Ming, as if blaming him for not helping her. Lu Ming touched his nose. His goal was to go to Rhe Eternal Devil Nation, and he did not want to be a busybody. In the blink of an eye, the beautiful woman disappeared from their sight, and the people who were chasing behind her also quickly followed. To Lu Ming, this was just an interlude. He continued on his way and flew toward the nearest medium-level devil kingdom. After spending a few more days, he finally arrived at the outskirts of the capital of this mid-sized devil kingdom. There was indeed a teleportation formation in this middle-ranked devil kingdom. Where are you going? A burly man in charge of Rhe teleportation array asked Lu Ming. One want to go to the capital of the ancient devil nation. Lu Ming said. The capital of Rhe Eternal Devil Nation? Kid, aren't you from the land of myriad demons? We mid-tier devil nations don't have the right RO teleport directly to the capital of Rhe Eternal Devil Nation. If you want to go there, you have to go to a high-tier devil nation and go there from there. The middle-aged man said. There was such a rule? Lu Ming was speechless. It seemed that he could only go to the high-ranked devil nation first and then head to the capital of the ancient devil nation from there. Alright, then I'll go to the high-ranked devil nation first. Lu Ming said. The nearest high-ranked devil kingdom is the Youluo Devil Kingdom. I suggest you go there first. The middle-aged man said. Alright, thank you. Lu Ming cupped his fists and paid the teleportation fee. He then stepped into the teleportation array. The next moment, Lu Ming disappeared from the teleportation array and arrived at another place. Lu Ming walked out of the teleportation array and asked around. He had already arrived at the Youluo Demonic Kingdom. This was a citadel outside the capital of the Youluo Devil Kingdom. The Youluo Devil Kingdom is one of the 10 high-tier devil kingdoms in the land of myriad devils. It's extremely powerful. Why don't I head to the capital of the Youluo Devil Kingdom first and find out more about the Eternal Devil Kingdom? Lu Ming pondered in his heart. The Youluo Devil Kingdom was one of the top 10 high-ranked devil kingdoms in the land of 10,000 devils. There was no need to doubt its strength. Lu Ming could take a look at the strength of the top forces in the land of myriad demons. In this way, he could also have a judgment of the overall strength of the land of myriad demons. Furthermore, even if he were to go Rhe capital of Rhe Ancient Devil Nation, he would be in Rhe Dark and wouldn't know where Rho start. He couldn't just run straight to the capital of the Eternal Devil Nation and ask for the Eternal Devil Coffin, right? If that were the case, he would be lucky if no one killed him. Therefore, he needed to think about it carefully. At the thought of this, Lu Ming did not head to Rhe capital of the Eternal Devil Kingdom. Instead, he flew to the capital of the Youluo Devil Kingdom. The capital of Rhe Youluo Devil Kingdom was exceptionally grand and vast. Regardless of whether it was the city walls or the buildings inside, most of them were built with a kind of black stone, and they were filled with an overbearing aura. Lu Ming walked on the streets of the Youluo Demonic Kingdom and realized that there were many experts here. Each of them exuded demonic chi and their bodies were filled with killing intent. Lu Ming secretly sized them up and found that there were many Saint Realm experts and many Emperor-to-be experts. They could even see martial Emperor experts giving off Emperor might walking on the streets. Lu Ming discovered that the quality and number of experts in the land of infinite demons were higher than that in Rhe Yuan Mountain. Kid, it's you. Suddenly, a cold and arrogant voice was heard. At the same time, a cold aura enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming frowned. The voice just now was obviously directed at him. However, it was his first time in the Youluo Demonic Kingdom and he did not know anyone. Lu Ming looked in the direction of Rhe sound. It's her? Lu Ming was stunned. Not far away, a beautiful woman in a tight-fitting purple dress was staring at Lu Ming coldly. Wasn't this lady the one who was being hunted down a few days ago and had asked Lu Ming for help? He did not expect to meet her here. This was too much of a coincidence. Lu Ming was rather speechless. The young woman's aura was very cold and it enveloped Lu Ming. It's Her Highness, the eldest princess. Who's that kid? He seems to have made the eldest princess very unhappy. He's finished. Around them, many people stopped to watch and started to discuss. The eldest princess? Lu Ming was speechless. Could this person be the princess of the Youluo Demonic Kingdom? "Princess, is this the person who left us in the lurch?" a young man asked. There were a few people beside Rhe beautiful woman. "That's right, this is the person." One, the eldest princess, replied coldly. Back then he was being chased by the enemy and met Lu Ming on the way. He asked Lu Ming for help, but Lu Ming did not save him. Fortunately, he met with reinforcements later and escaped from danger. He did nor expect Ro meet Lu Ming in the capital of the Youluo demonic kingdom. At the thought of Lu Ming's attitude back then, a cold glint flashed in Rhe eldest princess' eyes. He left the eldest princess in the lurch. 111 go cripple him. A skinny elder behind the eldest princess said coldly. He moved and pounced at Lu Ming. A demonic palm print blasted at Lu Ming, bringing with it gusts of strong wind. The eldest princess didn't stop him, only watching indifferently. "Girl lost." Lu Ming shouted coldly and struck our palm as well, matching the skinny elder's palm. Boom. With a loud boom, Rhe's skinny old man's body trembled violently. His body flew back at an even faster speed and he fell to the ground, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Lu Ming had been merciful. It was his first time here and he did not want to cause trouble. Otherwise the other party would have been dead. Many people were shocked. The skinny elder had Rhe cultivation of an absolute saint, he was injured by Lu Ming in one move. This young man's combat strength was not weak. Many people were thinking, "How dare you fight back? You're looking for death." The young man beside the eldest princess shouted coldly. His gaze was as cold as a blade. Bus. He took a step forward and his figure was like a phantom as he rushed toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming furrowed his brows, a trace of anger rising in his heart. In the wilderness he had met Rhe eldest princess. He was not related to the eldest princess in any way, so why did he save her? It was his freedom to save or not to save. But now the other party wanted to cripple his cultivation and even kill him because of this matter. How tyrannical. Boom. The young man made his move. He struck out with his palm as well. The force of his palm was like an avalanche, pressing down on Lu Ming. This young man was very strong, many times stronger than the skinny old man. Not only had he reached Rhe pinnacle of the absolute saint realm, but he also had a superior class sky spiritual body. Get lost. Lu Ming frowned, shouted and struck out with his palm as well. In his palm dark lightning flashed. The palm and the other's palm print collided, and the result was almost the same as the skinny old man's. The young man grunted and his body was thrown far away. He fell to the ground and his body twitched. Black lightning was swimming around his body. Chapter 2024. The Eldest Princess's Guest Elder? Chapter 2024. The eldest princess guest elder looking at the young man who was spasming on the ground, many people were stunned. This young man was not an ordinary person. He was very famous in the Youluo Devil Kingdom. He was the young master of the Youluo Devil Kingdom's Grand Marshal. His name was Ji Peng, and his name was well known throughout the entire Youluo Devil Kingdom. In the Youluo Demonic Kingdom, apart from a few king physiques, Ji Peng was considered a top heaven's favorite among the younger generation. In the past, someone had made a ranking list of the 10 strongest heaven's favorites in the Youluo Demonic Kingdom, excluding the king physique. Ji Peng was ranked 9th among the 10 great heaven's favorites. Of course, with the addition of the king physique, Ji Peng would be ranked a dozen or so behind, but it was still no small matter. But now Ji Peng was defeated by Lu Ming in one move. Lu Ming's ability was definitely shocking. Who is this person? He looks very young but he has such battle prowess, even stronger than Ji Peng. Could it be that he has a king physique? It's not a king body. When this person attacked just now there was a flash of demonic lightning. It should be a demonic lightning law, not a king body. In the Youluo Demonic Kingdom, other than the king physique, this person can be ranked in the top 10 or even top 8. Some of the onlookers were discussing in low voices. Indeed, Lu Ming did not use the Chaos Law or the Array Dao Law. Instead, he used the Chaos Law to transform into the Demonic Lightning Law and covered the Saint energy with the Demonic Lightning Law, making him look like a demonic cultivator. The eldest princess looked at Lu Ming in surprise. Lu Ming's abilities were stronger than she had imagined. Bus. At this moment, Ji Peng flipped over and stood up. His body exploded with cold killing intent as he roared, "Brat, I didn't use my full strength just now. If you do it again I'll kill you." Ji Peng roared and his aura became even more violent. He had been too careless and did not use his full strength. He did not even use his sacred art, which was why he was sent flying by Lu Ming in one move. Lu Ming frowned. He had already shown mercy, but the other party did not know when to retreat. In that case he could not be blamed for being impolite. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a sharp light. "All right, stop." At this moment the eldest princess' voice rang out, causing Ji Peng's body to freeze. "Eldest princess, this person is extremely daring. He even dares to hit the princess people. Let me cripple him." Ji Peng's eyes were cold. He did not want to let Lu Ming off. He didn't use his full strength just now. "If we really fight, you may not be his match. Both of you will only suffer. You guys leave first. I have something to ask him." The eldest princess said. "Eldest princess, if you let us leave, what if this brat makes a move?" An old man said worriedly. "You think he can hurt me?" The eldest princess retorted. The others didn't say anything. With the eldest princess' strength, how could this person hurt her? "Then take care, eldest princess." Ji Peng's eyes flickered. He then looked at Lu Ming and said, "Brat, you're lucky today. I'll spare your life." Then he left with the others. "Farewell." Lu Ming cupped his fists and turned to leave. He instinctively felt that this first princess was not a kind person, and he was too lazy to be associated with her. "Why are you in such a hurry to leave?" The eldest princess moved like a ray of light, light as if she was weightless, and chased after Lu Ming. Lu Ming furrowed his brows and shot into the sky. The eldest princess did the same and followed Lu Ming. "Eldest princess, what are you trying to do?" Lu Ming stopped and asked with a frown. "You're quite strong. One could sense that even if Ji Peng had fought you with all his strength, he wouldn't have been your opponent. Come to me and be my guest elder." The eldest princess spoke, her expression still carrying a trace of cold arrogance and superiority. "I'm not interested." Lu Ming turned around and left. "I won't let you be my guest forever. As long as you work for me for the next 3 months, you can leave." The eldest princess continued to speak, but Lu Ming had no intention of stopping. A cold glint flashed in the eldest princess' eyes. If not for the fact that she was in urgent need of talents recently and Lu Ming dared to treat her with such an attitude, she would have already taken action. "One won't let you do anything dangerous. As long as you help me fight against the heaven's favorite of the Youluo Empire 1 month later, I'll be fine. Whatever conditions you have, just state them." The eldest princess continued to follow as she spoke. "Oh." At this moment Lu Ming suddenly stopped. He looked at the eldest princess and said, "I can state any condition? As long as it's not too much, you can mention it." The eldest princess said, "One wish to get to know someone from the imperial family of the eternal devil nation. Are you able to introduce me to them?" Lu Ming said. If the other party could introduce him to someone from the imperial family of the eternal devil nation, it would save him a lot of trouble. He could agree to it for now. Moreover, the other party was only going to be her guest elder for 3 months and only to compete with the geniuses of the Youluo Empire. This was not a big deal to Lu Ming. There was no harm in agreeing to it. And here one thought it was something big. Not long ago, the king of the eternal devil nation has just transcended another great tribulation of the heavens and earth. 3 months from now, he's going to hold a grand banquet for the entire world. Countless devil nations will be there to celebrate, including my Youluo devil nation. They'll naturally be able to introduce you to him then," the eldest princess said. Lu Ming was overjoyed. The king of the ancient devil nation had just survived a great calamity and was going to hold a feast. This was a great opportunity for Lu Ming. "All right, I'll agree to be your guest elder, but I'll only be your guest elder for 3 months. If you ask me to deal with a martial emperor powerhouse or something, I'll have to refuse," Lu Ming said. "Don't worry. Why would I ask you to go against a martial emperor?" Seeing that Lu Ming had agreed, the eldest princess smiled. "Take this guest elder token." A token appeared in the eldest princess' hand and she threw it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming reached out to take it and put it away. "Come back to the princess manor with me now. I'll arrange a place for you to stay," he said. The eldest princess said. Lu Ming nodded. The princess manor was very spacious and had many palaces. The eldest princess had arranged a courtyard for Lu Ming. It was very big and quiet. On the way, Lu Ming also found out the eldest princess' name. She was called Yuning. The eldest princess left after arranging a place for Lu Ming to stay. In the next few days, Lu Ming secretly asked around and found out a lot of things. It turned out that the Youluo demonic kingdom was founded by 2 demonic Dao clans. However, the question of which family would be in charge of the Youluo demonic kingdom after the founding of the kingdom remained. The later rules stated that every 10,000 years, the 2 families would send out their young geniuses to compete. The winner would continue to rule the Youluo demonic kingdom for another 10,000 years. The eldest princess Yuning belonged to the Yu family. The Yu family had been in control of the Youluo Devil Kingdom for 20,000 years. In another month, the once-in-10,000 years cycle would begin again. The prodigies of the two families would compete to decide which family would be in control of the Youluo Devil Kingdom. Therefore, during this period of time, eldest Princess Yu Ning had been secretly gathering geniuses to increase her strength. Lu Ming finally understood why Yu Ning wanted him to be a guest elder. It was for this reason. Chapter 2025. Chapter 2024, Throw Out? Chapter 2025. Chapter 2024 Throw out. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. For the past 10 days, Lu Ming had been cultivating in peace in the Grand Princess residence. And NBSP his chaos laws had reached 97% and his array Dao laws had reached 99%. It could be said that he was already very close to perfection. However, the closer he was to perfection, the harder it would be to improve. Many people's nomological laws stopped at 99% maturity for hundreds, thousands, and even tens of thousands of years. Even the stellar river had stopped for a long time. If he wanted to break through, he needed to accumulate experience. When his comprehension of the laws was sufficient, it would naturally come to fruition. On this day, Lu Ming was cultivating when Ji Peng brought a few people into the Grand Princess residence with a gloomy expression. They were walking towards Lu Ming's residence. Ji Peng's status was no small matter, so naturally no one stopped him. When they arrived at Lu Ming's residence, Ji Peng kicked the door open and walked in with a dark expression. "Lu Ming, get out here!" Ji Peng coldly shouted. In the room, Lu Ming, who was cultivating, opened his eyes. There was a sharp glint in his eyes. Unhurriedly, Lu Ming walked out of the room and saw Ji Peng looking at him coldly. More than 10 days ago, Lu Ming had sent him flying with a palm strike in public, causing him to twitch on the ground and lose face. During this period of time, he had been brooding over it and wanted to find a chance to take revenge. Later on, when he heard that Lu Ming had become the eldest princess guest elder, he was even more furious. After holding it in for a few days, he finally could not help but bring Lu Ming here. "Brat, wanna know what you're trying to do? You want to become the princess guest elder and get close to her. You've got a good plan. Now, I'll give you a chance to get out of the princess manor." Ji Peng coldly spoke. "The eldest princess sent you here?" Lu Ming said. "There's no need for the eldest princess to instruct us on this matter," Ji Peng said. "I'm the eldest princess, foreign dignitary, not yours. Since the eldest princess didn't say anything, then who do you think you are? What right do you have to make me leave?" Lu Ming replied indifferently. These words made Ji Peng's face even gloomier. "Brat, you'd better get out by yourself. Otherwise I'll break your 4 limbs and throw you out." Ji Peng said coldly. "Get lost." Lu Ming spat out the word coldly. He had already lost his patience. "Brat, what's with your attitude? How dare you talk to the second young master like that? I'll cripple you." A burly man beside Ji Peng rushed over and threw a punch at Lu Ming's dantian. This was to cripple Lu Ming's cultivation. This brawny man was in the great circle of the absolute saint realm. He punched out and the terrifying fist force made the space howl. Zzzzzzzzz. Lu Ming circulated the chaos law and transformed it into the demonic lightning law. Lightning swam around his body as if he was wearing a lightning armor. Whoosh. Lu Ming's figure moved and he threw a punch at the burly man. Zzzzzzz. The lightning spread and instantly destroyed the opponent's attack. The black lightning covered the opponent's body, causing him to tremble and retreat. Then Lu Ming took a step forward and slapped the burly man. The burly man flew backward and fell to the ground, his body twitching non-stop. Ji Peng and the others' eyes suddenly narrowed. Lu Ming's combat strength was stronger than they had imagined. A perfected absolute saint had been defeated in 2 moves. Even Ji Peng might not be able to do it himself. "Let's attack together." Ji Peng let out a furious roar. His body was like a ROC spreading its wings as he flew towards Lu Ming. With a shake of his arms emitted a mysterious light. They were like the wings of a ROC but also like 2 heavenly blades. 2 rays of light burst out and shot towards Lu Ming. This was his divine power technique. When he exchanged blows with Lu Ming previously, he did not use his divine power technique. At the same time, the remaining 2 people also moved. The 2 of them were also in the great circle of the absolute saint realm. They used their divine abilities to attack Lu Ming. He was ruthless and merciless. If Lu Ming was no match for him, he would be killed. "You're pushing it." The cold glint in Lu Ming's eyes intensified. He condensed a long spear in his hand, which was covered with a layer of black lightning. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. He stabbed 3 times in a row. There were 3 consecutive explosions. The attacks of Ji Peng and the other 2 were all blocked by Lu Ming. Then Lu Ming seemed to have transformed into a bolt of lightning. In a flash, he appeared in front of an elder in the absolute saint's perfection. The lightning spear stabbed out at an astonishing speed. It pierced the elder's dantian and shattered his saint heart. The man wailed in pain as his body flew out and fell to the ground, screaming in pain. This person's cultivation had already been crippled by Lu Ming. Then Lu Ming moved again and appeared in front of the remaining absolute saint. He thrust his spear again and crippled his cultivation. After 2 people were crippled in a row, Ji Peng was so scared that his liver and guts were torn apart. He quickly retreated, wanting to escape, but he didn't dare to fight. However, with a flash of lightning, Lu Ming caught up to Ji Peng. Although Lu Ming had transformed the Chaos Law into the Demonic Lightning Law, its power had been greatly reduced. However, Lu Ming's spirit body and his saint energy were far above Ji Peng's. Ji Peng was not his match at all. Although he tried his best, he was still crushed by Lu Ming. Gotcha. Lu Ming broke one of Ji Peng's arms with a palm strike and then broke one of his legs with a kick. Gotcha. Gotcha. After a few consecutive explosions, Ji Peng's 4 limbs were broken by Lu Ming. He lay on the ground like a dead dog. Get lost. Lu Ming kicked Ji Peng and a few of his subordinates a few times, sending them flying out of the courtyard. After all, this was the Youluo Devil Kingdom and the eldest princess residence. He couldn't kill Ji Peng. If he did, he could only run away. This was not Lu Ming's goal. He still needed the eldest princess to introduce him to the royal family of the Eternal Demon Nation. Kid, just you wait. Ji Peng's sinister voice came from outside the courtyard. He had said that he would break Lu Ming's limbs and throw him out. In the end, his limbs were broken and he was thrown out like a dead dog. This made him furious. Lu Ming frowned. If the other party went too far, he would not mind killing him and leaving the Youluo demonic kingdom. He would think of other ways. The next morning, a group of people arrived at the eldest princess manor and met with her directly. Ji Peng was in the crowd. However, Ji Peng wasn't the leader of this group of people. His big brother, one of his uncles, had personally led his men here. General Ji, Brother Ji, please sit. In a large hall, the eldest princess received Ji Peng and the others. However, her gaze was only fixed on the middle-aged man in the lead and a young man with a cold expression. This middle-aged man was Ji Peng's uncle. He was the younger brother of the Youluo Devil Kingdom's Grand Marshal and also a devil general of the Youluo Devil Kingdom. The young man was Ji Peng's elder brother, a top genius of the Youluo demonic kingdom with a terrifying king body. Eldest princess, we came here to ask for a person from you, Uncle Ji Peng said. You want to be alone? Who is it? The eldest princess was slightly taken aback and frowned. If the Ji family wanted someone, why did they have to come to her? Chapter 2026. King Physique, is it very amazing? Chapter 2026. King Physique, is it very amazing? Lu Ming, the little bastard who left the princess in the lurch. Ji Peng said coldly. Lu Ming. What's wrong with him? The eldest princess was puzzled. Eldest princess, Lu Ming crippled the cultivation of 2 of our Ji family's absolute saints in the great perfection for no reason yesterday. He even broke Ji Peng's limbs. He must pay for his actions. Ji Peng's big brother said coldly. Ji Peng's elder brother was called Ji Tian. There's actually such a thing. The eldest princess raised her brows and ordered her servants, call Lu Ming over. Lu Ming was cultivating when he heard the commotion outside. He got up and came out. Young Master Lu, the eldest princess has invited you, a middle-aged guard said. He came so quickly. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. The first thought that came to his mind was that the Ji family had come looking for him. All right. Lu Ming nodded. He and the middle-aged guard went to the main hall of the eldest princess. As expected, it's the Ji family. Lu Ming saw Ji Peng the moment he arrived at the main hall. Ji Peng and the rest also looked at Lu Ming with cold eyes. Lu Ming, did you cripple the cultivation of a few of the Ji family's experts yesterday? The eldest princess sat at the head of the table and asked with a cold and arrogant expression. Not bad. Lu Ming answered. How dare you? You're even touched by my Ji family. Kill yourself and I'll leave your corpse intact. Ji Peng's uncle smacked the table and coldly said. What a joke. They wanted to kill me. Can't one fight back? Lu Ming sneered. Do you understand who you're talking to? This attitude. Ji Peng's uncle's eyes were like lightning as he swept his gaze over Lu Ming. A powerful pressure emanated from him. Lu Ming's expression changed and he could not help but take a few steps back. Ji Peng's uncle was definitely a terrifying expert. It seems like the Ji family doesn't even care about the eldest princess, Lu Ming said coldly. Uncle Ji Peng's expression changed slightly, and he retracted his aura. After all, this was the eldest princess' residence and Lu Ming was the eldest princess man in name. Without the eldest princess' consent, he would have crossed the line if he attacked her directly. Eldest princess, this person crippled the cultivation of our Ji family's expert and injured Ji Peng. He must be punished. Otherwise, how can our Ji family rule the army and convince the masses? Ji Tian said coldly. Lu Ming, what's going on? The eldest princess asked. Lu Ming's combat strength was not bad. He would be useful to her in the near future. She did not want Lu Ming to be crippled just like that. Eldest princess, yesterday, Ji Peng brought a few people from the Ji family and barged into my courtyard. They threatened to cripple me and attack me. I was only protecting myself. If one hadn't attacked, I would have been dead by now. Lu Ming recounted what had happened yesterday. I see. The eldest princess nodded. Ji Peng, you've gone too far in this matter. Lu Ming is my guest elder after all. However, Lu Ming's actions were too heavy. How about this? He'll take out some treasures to compensate the Ji family. Also, Lu Ming, you'll apologize to the Ji family in public. What do you think? Apologize to the Ji family? Lu Ming frowned. What did he do wrong in this matter? How could he apologize? No, we have to at least cripple his 4 limbs and make him apologize in public. Ji Peng called out. That's right, this person must be punished. Ji Tian followed. In my opinion, both sides should take a step back. Lu Ming will apologize in public and give some compensation. Then this matter will be settled. How about it? The eldest princess spoke again. At the same time, she sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. Lu Ming, Ji Peng's father, is the Defender General of the state. The Ji family is extremely powerful. Bear with it, apologize to the Ji family and give them some compensation. If you take a step back, you'll have a better life. Lu Ming sneered. What taking a step back would open up the world? This matter was not his fault at all. The eldest princess actually wanted him to apologize. It was obvious that she did not want to offend the Ji family. However, the Ji family obviously didn't want to let it go so easily. Princess, we can give you face today and not deal with him for the time being. However, Princess, you must drive this person out of the princess manor, Ji Peng's uncle said. Ji Peng, Ji Tian and the others sneered. After being expelled from the princess manor and without the eldest princess protection, given the Ji family's strength, Lu Ming would die in whatever way they wanted him to. The eldest princess frowned. She naturally knew the Ji family's intentions. However, Lu Ming's combat strength was not bad. Since he could defeat Ji Peng, his combat strength was definitely above Ji Peng's. It would be of great help in the battle with the Luo family 20 days later. It would be a pity to give up just like that. Eldest princess, our Ji family has always been on your side. If this kid affects our relationship, I'm afraid it'll be a loss for you. Ji Peng's uncle said indifferently, his words hinting at something. The eldest princess' expression was somewhat unsightly. The Ji family was threatening her. However, she had to compromise. The Ji family was extremely powerful. If she helped the Luo family, it would have a huge impact on her. The most important thing was Ji Tian. Ji Tian had a king body, and the number of king bodies in the entire Youluo demonic kingdom could be counted on one hand. In the battle with the Luo family 20 days later, Ji Tian was of utmost importance as he could influence the outcome. Therefore, no matter what, she had to keep the Ji family in her hands and not ruin their relationship. Many thoughts flashed through the eldest princess' mind. Eldest princess, you have to consider this carefully. My big brother has the king physique and can decide the outcome of this battle with the Luo clan. Seeing that the eldest princess didn't say anything, Ji Peng coldly spoke. Having said that, he even cast a disdainful look at Lu Ming. What he meant was, so what if you have some combat power? Can he be compared to my big brother? Could it be compared to the king physique? The eldest princess' brows twitched slightly. Ji Peng's words made her very unhappy. But she couldn't lose the Ji family's support, so she muttered to herself and made a decision. The eldest princess looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming, you've gone too far this time. You've already broken the rules by hitting me so hard. So, please leave the princess manor. As expected. Lu Ming sneered. The eldest princess had indeed chosen the Ji family. In her opinion, Lu Ming was just a talent with some combat ability. He could not be compared to the Ji family. In particular, Ji Tian's king physique could play a key role in the confrontation with the Luo family this time. The people from the Ji family sneered. As long as Lu Ming left the eldest princess manor, he would be dead. All right. Lu Ming did not say much. He turned and left. Since the eldest princess had already chosen the Ji family, there was no need for him to stay. After taking a few steps, Lu Ming stopped and turned to look at Ji Tian. He said indifferently, "King Physique? Is it that amazing?" With that, Lu Ming turned and strode away, disappearing from the hall. "You're just a frog at the bottom of a well. I'm afraid you don't even know how powerful the King Physique is. Very soon he will know how strong the King Physique is." Some of the Ji family members sneered. Lu Ming's attitude made it seem as if he did not care about the King Physique at all. They were very unhappy. Chapter 2027. The Little Princess? Chapter 2027. The Little Princess. Lu Ming did not stop. However, he did not leave the residence immediately. Instead, he circled the residence a few times before coming to a secret place. He cast the divine breath technique and transformed into a middle-aged man. This middle-aged man was a guard in the Grand Princess Manor. The Ji family had asked the eldest princess to kick him out of the eldest princess manor. It was very likely that there were experts stationed outside the manor. As soon as he went out, he would probably be ambushed by them. He wasn't afraid of the younger generation, but he couldn't guarantee that the other party would send a great emperor. Lu Ming turned into a guard and swaggered out of the princess manor. When he walked out of the manor, he sensed a few spiritual senses sweeping past him. Two of them were terrifyingly powerful, and they were obviously great emperors. However, they could not tell that Lu Ming had the divine breath. Lu Ming turned around and glanced at the Grand Princess residence. "Eldest Princess, we will meet again very soon. One hope you won't regret it." A faint smile hung on the corners of Lu Ming's mouth. He then strode away. The Grand Princess residence was in the western part of the capital of the Youluo Devil Kingdom. Lu Ming headed straight for the eastern part of the capital. The eastern part of the capital was the territory of the Luo family. The Yu family and the Luo family were the two great families that had founded the Youluo Devil Kingdom. Since the eldest princess could not tolerate him, he could only go to the Luo family. The little princess of the Luo family, Luo Xian. Lu Ming muttered. There was a strange phenomenon among the younger generation of the Yu family and the Luo family. The most outstanding geniuses of the two families were all women. The most outstanding genius of the Yu family was the eldest princess, Yuning. She was the representative of the Yu family and the leader of the younger generation. The leader of the Luo family's younger generation was called Luo Xian. She was also an unparalleled beauty, just as famous as Yuning. However, she was a few years younger than Yuning, so everyone else called her little princess. Lu Ming was going to seek refuge with Luo Xian. If Yuning could introduce him to the imperial family of the Eternal Devil Nation, Luo Xian could do the same. Very soon, Lu Ming arrived at a grand mansion. This mansion was the little princess Luo Xian's mansion. At this point, Lu Ming had already restored his original appearance. "Stop." Two burly men stopped Lu Ming at the main door. "You too, I'm here to pay a visit to the little princess." Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, "Of course I know you're here to visit the little princess. Every day many people come to visit the little princess. Kid, I advise you to stop thinking too much and leave quickly." One of the burly men waved his hand and asked Lu Ming to leave. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. It turned out that the other party had thought that he was deliberately trying to get close to the little princess and wanted to woo her. "I'm here to be the little princess guest elder. In 20 days, I'll help the little princess achieve victory in the battle with the Yu family," Lu Ming said. The two burly men were stunned. They looked at Lu Ming as if he was an idiot. They had seen many people who came up with all sorts of reasons to get close to the little princess. They had also heard all sorts of weird reasons. However, it was their first time seeing someone who boasted shamelessly like Lu Ming. "Haha, brat, you're really boasting shamelessly. Help the little princess obtain victory? This reason of yours is quite fresh, but if you dare to fool the little princess, be careful of your little life. Kid, we'll let you go this time. Hurry up and leave." The two burly men waved their hands repeatedly, signaling for Lu Ming to leave quickly. "The two of you only need to inform me. What if what one said is true? What if I can really help the little princess win? If you stop me from going to the eldest princess' side and help the eldest princess win, what will happen to you if the little princess finds out about this?" Lu Ming was not angry and spoke calmly. The two big men's expressions changed. Although they were certain that Lu Ming was just boasting. But just in case. If Lu Ming really had the ability to do so, he would join the eldest princess' side in a fit of anger after being stopped by them. By then he would help the eldest princess achieve victory, and they would be sinners. The Luo family would not let them off. The two of them looked at each other and nodded silently. It wasn't a big deal to just pass on the message. If Lu Ming did not have the real ability and was just bragging, someone would naturally deal with him. Alright, you wait here. I'll go pass the message, a burly man said, and then hurriedly ran in to pass on the message. After a while, the burly man returned and said, "The little princess wants to see you. Come with me." Lu Ming smiled and walked into the depths of the mansion with the burly man. "Brat, you better have some real skills or you'll be miserable," the burly man reminded him on the way. "Many thanks." Lu Ming smiled. He looked calm and had a faint smile on his face. The burly man was puzzled. Could it be that this kid really had the real deal? The mansion was huge. After making a few turns, they arrived at a large hall. There were only 3 people in the hall. At the head of the hall sat a woman in black. She looked to be in her 20s. The woman was extremely beautiful. She was even more beautiful than the eldest princess Yuning. At this moment, the lady was blinking her big eyes and sizing Lu Ming up curiously. A young man stood on each side of the woman. His eyes were like lightning as they stared at Lu Ming. "Your subordinate greets the princess." The burly man saluted the woman. "Yes, stand aside." The beautiful lady, who was also the little princess Luo Xian, waved her hand, but her gaze was fixed on Lu Ming. "You said that you can help me defeat Yuning and the Yu family?" Luo Xian spoke, his voice clear and melodious. "Not bad." Lu Ming nodded. "Hey, I'm telling you, you're not allowed to lie to me. If you're lying to me, it'll make you miserable, you know that?" Luo Xian had 2 canine teeth, and as he spoke, his 2 canine teeth were exposed, making him look quite cute. Although she wanted to say it fiercely, it was a pity that she did not look murderous at all. "Little princess, we'll know if this kid has the ability after we try him. If he's boasting shamelessly, I'll throw him out and feed him to the dogs." On the left, a young man in a purple robe said coldly. At the same time, he took a step forward and pressed toward Lu Ming. Luo Xian didn't stop him. Instead, he looked on curiously. "Kid, show me what you got. Otherwise you won't have a chance," the purple-robed young man said coldly. He turned into a purple light and charged at Lu Ming. He waved his palm and a purple sword light cut through the void, slashing at Lu Ming. Absolute Saint in the Great Circle. Lu Ming's heart stirred. This purple-robed young man had the cultivation of an absolute saint in the Great Circle. Lu Ming could also tell that his spiritual body was a superior grade heavenly spiritual body, which was even stronger than Ji Peng's. The purple-robed young man had used 90% of his power in this attack, which was very powerful. However, there was still a faint smile on Lu Ming's face, as if he had not seen the purple-robed youth's attack. As expected, he's a boastful person. On the right, another young man sneered. However, at this moment Lu Ming moved. He stretched out a finger and tapped lightly. Chapter 2028, Chapter 2027, Probing? Chapter 2028, Chapter 2027 Probing. Lu Ming stretched out a finger and tapped lightly on the purple-robed youth's sword gleam. Bang! The purple-robed young man's sword light shattered in an instant. At the same time, dense runes spread out from Lu Ming's fingers and covered the purple-robed young man at an extreme speed. The purple-robed youth was shocked and quickly retreated, but it was too late. He hadn't retreated very far before his body was covered by a dense array of magical symbols. He felt as if his cultivation base had been sealed, and then he fell to the ground with a thump. The 3 people at the scene were dumbfounded. The purple-robed young man was defeated in one move. The purple-robed youth was no ordinary person. He was extremely famous in the Youluo demonic kingdom, and his reputation was even greater than Ji Peng. Apart from the king body, the Youluo demonic kingdom had 10 strongest heavens favorites. Ji Peng was ranked 9th, while the purple-robed youth was ranked 5th. Such a prodigy was no match for Lu Ming and was defeated in one move. "Array Dao Laws, you have a king physique." At this moment, the little princess Luo Xian had already stood up from her seat. She looked at Lu Ming with bright eyes. "King physique." The other people in the hall were all shocked. In the entire Youluo Devil Kingdom, there were only a handful of people with king physiques. This young man actually had a king body. No wonder he could defeat the purple-robed young man in one move. Especially the burly man who was guarding the gate, he was secretly scared. Previously, he had thought that Lu Ming was boasting shamelessly and was just finding an excuse to get close to the little princess. Now it seemed that they had made a big mistake. Lu Ming was really capable. Fortunately, he had come in to inform them. Otherwise, like what Lu Ming had said, if he went to seek refuge with the eldest princess, they would really be done for. At this moment, Lu Ming waved his hand and the runes covering the purple-robed young man disappeared. The purple-robed young man stood up and looked at Lu Ming with a grave expression. Do you really want to join me and be my guest? The little princess Luo Xian looked at Lu Ming curiously. Of course. Why else would I be here? Lu Ming smiled. Why do you want to join me? The little princess continued to ask. Little princess, you're a famous beauty. If I don't side with you, who should I side with? Lu Ming replied with a smile. The little princess laughed in a sweet voice. She laughed so hard that her eyes squinted and said, I like your reason. However, Yuning is also beautiful. Why don't you go to her? The little princess continued to ask. She looked innocent, but she was actually very meticulous. To tell you the truth, one ruthlessly beat up Ji Ping yesterday, and was just chased out by the eldest princess. Lu Ming did not hide anything and told her what had happened. Lu Ming was very clear that this matter could not be hidden even if he wanted to. As long as the little princess sent someone to investigate, it would not be difficult to find out. Oh, there's actually such a thing. This time Yuning has misjudged you. I wonder what kind of expression she'll have when she finds out that you have a king body during the competition. Interesting. The little princess laughed again and continued, there should be a condition for you to join me, right? I need the little princess to introduce me to the royal family of the ancient devil nation. Also, he'll only be your guest for a few months. Lu Ming said. Alright, that's easy. We'll be heading to the eternal devil nation soon. One do know a few princesses and princes of the eternal devil nation. I'll introduce them to you guys then. The little princess agreed without hesitation. Then she looked at the others and ordered, don't spread the news about Lu Ming. Yes. The two young men and the guard nodded in agreement. All of you may leave. One will personally arrange a place for Lu Ming to stay. The little princess instructed. The two young men and the burly guard bowed and took their leave, leaving Lu Ming and the little princess alone in the hall. You didn't use your full strength just now, did you? You said you could help me win. I want to see how strong you are. As soon as the little princess finished speaking, her body floated toward Lu Ming like a black cloud. At the same time, the little princess waved her hand and a black ray of light enveloped Lu Ming. Peak of an absolute saint. As soon as the little princess attacked, Lu Ming could tell that her cultivation base was the same as his. They were both at the peak of the absolute saint realm. Lu Ming activated the Array Dao Law and pointed his finger. A true dragon roared and pounced forward. It was completely condensed by the Array Dao runes. Boom. The black light of the true dragon and the little princess collided with each other, creating a loud boom. Then, countless runes spread out from the little princess body. Judge. The little princess let out a soft cry, and black light burst forth, forcibly obliterating the endless symbols. The Law of Judgment. Lu Ming's heart stirred. The Law of Judgment was also an extremely terrifying law of the way of the king. It was known to judge everything and had astonishing offensive power. Again? The little princess moved forward and fought with Lu Ming again. Lu Ming operated the Array Dao Law and fought with the little princess. Lu Ming did not use his full strength as a human. Lu Ming's spirit body was definitely much stronger than the little princess. His saint energy was also stronger than the little princess. In the 3 scrolls of Array Dao, Lu Ming only used the fusion of the illusionary spirit scroll and the sealed scroll. He did not add the annihilation scroll. Even so, the little princess was still at a disadvantage after dozens of exchanges. Satisfying. After exchanging dozens of blows, the little princess retreated and said in a tender voice, Lu Ming, you're not weak, but Ji Tian from the Ji family also has a king body. Moreover, his cultivation has already reached the perfected absolute saint realm. I'm afraid he's even stronger than you. How would little princess know? I used all my strength just now. Lu Ming said with a smile. You didn't use your full strength? So you're looking down on me? The little princess pouted. Lu Ming could not help but touch his nose. This little princess' temper was really ever-changing. Lu Ming could not help but think of a person. Xian Yanqing. The little princess' temper was similar to Xian Yanqing's in the past. Little Qing, where are you now? Lu Ming could not help but sigh in his heart. Back then, the Ice Dragon Patriarch had escaped with Xian Yanqing. It had been a few years since then and there had been no news of him until now. Lu Ming was very worried. Lu Ming, just you wait. I'm about to break through to the perfection of the absolute saint realm. I'll spar with you then. With that, the little princess bared her 2 canine teeth again and glared at Lu Ming fiercely. Let's go. I'll arrange a place for you to stay. The little princess' expression changed very quickly. One moment she was threatening Lu Ming. The next moment she was walking out of the hall with Lu Ming following closely behind. The little princess left after arranging a courtyard for Lu Ming. There were still 20 days before the competition between the Yu family and the Luo family. She wanted to reach the perfected absolute saint realm within these 20 days. In the days that followed, Lu Ming was very free and cultivated in peace. As for the Ji family, they had sent people to search for Lu Ming's traces in the entire capital, but they could not find a single clue. This made Ji Ping furious. Just like that, 20 days passed by in a flash. The battle for the imperial power between the Yu family and the Luo family, which happened once every IOO years, had begun. Chapter 2029. Start, One Move. Chapter 2029. Start, One Move. In the center of the capital of the Youluo Devil Kingdom, there was a huge fighting stage. There were many seats built around the fighting ring as well as a large open space. On this day, the fighting ring was surrounded by a sea of people. The Youluo Devil Kingdom was founded by the two great clans. Every 10,000 years, they would decide which clan would take control of the Youluo Devil Kingdom. Therefore, this was the biggest event in the past 10,000 years, and countless people had gathered here. There were people everywhere. Lu Ming and the people from the Luo family were sitting on the grandstand on the east side of the fighting ring. The spectators' stand was filled with the Luo family's experts. At a glance, Lu Ming could see many void emperors and true emperors. The father of the little princess, Luo Xian, was also from the Luo family. He sat at the very front. On the west side of the fighting ring were the Yu family. At this moment, the two sides sized each other up. That Lu Ming actually sided with Luo Xian. Damn it. Ji Ping saw Lu Ming and immediately shouted angrily. Ji Tian and Yu Ning also looked at Lu Ming with cold eyes. The Ji family is really useless. I've already chased Lu Ming out and I can't find him. Instead, he's relying on Luo Xian. Yu Ning's eyes flashed with a cold light as he roared in his heart. Lu Ming's combat strength was very strong and he could easily defeat Ji Ping. He would have some influence on this competition. When she chased Lu Ming out, she had already thought that Lu Ming might join Luo Xian in a fit of anger. However, she was also clear that once she expelled Lu Ming, the Ji family would not let him off. Lu Ming would most likely be killed by the Ji family and would not have the chance to rely on Luo Xian. He did not expect the Ji family to be so useless. Lu Ming had actually escaped and even successfully sought refuge with Luo Xian. I must kill Lu Ming if I have the chance during the competition. Yu Ning sent a voice transmission to Ji Tian, Ji Peng, and the others. Don't worry, if this kid touches me, he'll make him die a terrible death. Ji Tian spoke with a cold killing intent. If he touches me, he'll make him wish he was dead. A yellow-robed young man said coldly. This yellow-robed young man was called Huang Song. In the Youluo demonic kingdom, Huang Song was the strongest aside from the king physique. He was ranked first among the 10 strongest heaven's favorites after the king physique. He was much stronger than Ji Ping. Yu Ning, Ji Tian, and the others sized up Lu Ming and the others. Lu Ming, Luo Xian, and the others were also sizing each other up. According to the old rules, each side will send 50 heaven's favorites to fight in pairs until the end. The winner will be the winner. Luo Xian sent a voice transmission to everyone. Lu Ming nodded. This rule was simple. This time, among the younger generation, our two sides have 2 king physiques each. Their cultivation levels are about the same, so the battle of king physiques will likely result in both sides suffering losses. Therefore, the battle of non-king physiques is very important. Luo Xian continued. The king physique he mentioned did not include Lu Ming. The fact that Lu Ming was a king physique had not been spread out yet. However, other than the king physique, there's one person you have to pay attention to. That is Huang Song. Although he doesn't have a king physique, his battle power is very strong. He has had a fortuitous encounter, so his spirit physique is stronger than ordinary spirit physiques. Furthermore, this person's divine arts are also very well trained. You have to be careful when you meet this person. Luo Xian warned. Many people nodded their heads. They were naturally aware of Huang Song's methods. At this moment, a figure flew onto the fighting ring. This person was very old and was an elder of the Youluo Devil Kingdom. He was also the judge of this competition. The participants of this competition, please go up the stage first. The doyen spoke, his voice like a great bell. Let's go up. Luo Xian rose to his feet first, followed by the rest of the people, and flew up to the fighting ring. Yu Ning, Ji Tian, and the others also went up the fighting ring. Each side had 50 people. As long as they were below the age of 50, they could participate. As soon as he stepped onto the fighting ring, Ji Ping, Ji Tian, and Huang Song looked at Lu Ming with cold eyes. Kid, you better pray that you don't meet me. Otherwise 111 make you die a terrible death. The first one to speak was Huang Song. His eyes revealed a cruel smile. On Luo Xian's side, some people's expressions changed slightly. Huang Song's methods were extremely cruel. Many of his enemies had died miserably. Lu Ming, you shouldn't have turned to Luo Xian. Yining also spoke coldly. If I shouldn't join them, do one have to follow your wishes and be killed by the Ji family after being expelled? What a joke. Lu Ming said calmly. Sister Yining, you don't like Lu Ming, but one treat him like a treasure. Don't give you a big surprise later on, Luo Xian laughed. Yuning's expression was cold and he didn't say anything. Next, the founding members assigned numbers to them. On each side it was number 1 to 50. Then, the board of patriarchs would place the 50 numbers on both sides into a box and draw at random. Whichever 2 numbers were drawn, the 2 people would fight. The number that Lu Ming was assigned to was 31. After the numbers were assigned, everyone returned to their respective stands. As for the founding member, he drew a number from each of the 2 boxes. Number 6 from the Luo family, number 39 from the Yu family. The elder announced his name. The next moment, 2 figures rushed up to the fighting ring and began to fight. There was no suspense in this battle. The Yu family had won because the person from the Yu family had a much higher cultivation. In just a few moves, he had severely injured the genius from the Luo family and blasted him off the fighting ring. The Yu family had won the first battle. Everyone in the Yu family was smiling. The doyens continued to draw numbers. In the second battle, one of the Luo family's people had a stronger cultivation base and won. The third round, Luo family's number 31, Yu family's number 5. The elder reported the number. It's my turn so soon. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He got up and rushed to the fighting ring. The one from the Yu family was a burly young man. However, when he saw Lu Ming, his face darkened. Just now, Yining had sent him a voice transmission, telling him that Lu Ming had once defeated Ji Peng. He wanted him to exchange a few moves with Lu Ming to exhaust some of Lu Ming's saint energy and then admit defeat. Being able to defeat Ji Peng, the burly youth knew that he was no match for Lu Ming. Brat, eat my axe. The burly young man roared. He raised his battle axe and charged at Lu Ming. His purpose was to consume some of Lu Ming's holy power. Zee! A sizzling sound came from Lu Ming's hand, and the black demonic lightning flashed. Then Lu Ming struck out with his palm, and the demonic lightning formed a huge palm, blasting toward the burly youth. Boom! The burly young man's body was sent flying out of the fighting ring and he spat out a mouthful of blood. This kid has some strength. I'll be more fun to kill him like this. Huang Song licked his lips, and his malevolent expression became even more intense. As for Luo Xian, the purple-robed young man, and a few others who had seen Lu Ming in action before, they were all dumbfounded. What's going on? Demonic lightning law. Didn't Lu Ming use the Array Dao law back then? How did it become the devil lightning law? Could it be that he has mastered 2 types of nomological laws? Luo Xian and the others revealed looks of disbelief. It was unheard of for a saint to control 2 laws. Chapter 2030. The Battle Between the Big and Small Princesses. Chapter 2030. The battle between the big and small princesses. After defeating his opponent, Lu Ming moved and returned to the stands. Luo Xian's gaze swept over Lu Ming from time to time. He felt that Lu Ming was not as simple as he seemed. The competition continued. Luo Xian and the purple-robed young man attacked one after the other, easily winning. In addition, the Luo family also had a king physique. He was very powerful and defeated his opponent in one move. On the Yu family side, Yining and Ji Tian naturally won easily. Ji Peng also won. As for Huang Song, he was even more brutal. He showed no mercy and instantly tore a Heaven's Pride expert from the Luo clan into pieces. He stood on the fighting stage, bathed in blood, and roared like a murderous beast. On the Luo family's side, other than Lu Ming and a few others, everyone's expression changed. Soon the first round was over. Both sides had 50 people, but after the first round, there was a difference in the number of people. The Yu family had been in charge of the Youluo demonic kingdom for 20,000 years and had a deep foundation. Naturally, there were more geniuses who submitted to them. Hence, after the first round, the Yu family had gained the upper hand. After the first round, the Yu family still had 28 people, while the Luo family only had 18 people. Why wasn't the total number of people on both sides 50? Because in the process of the war, some people were injured by both sides. Therefore, the total number of people on both sides was naturally less than 50. The second round of the competition was the same as the first round. The number of the remaining people from both sides would be placed in the box and the drawing of lots would begin. The two people who were drawn would fight. This way the side with more people would definitely have an advantage. This was because the side with more people would not need to fight, and they could save their physical strength and holy power. In the second round, Lu Ming also appeared very early. However, the opponent he met was not strong and he was easily defeated. After that, Luo Xian and another king body also won. Yu family's number 3 versus Luo family's number 5. At this moment, the doyen's voice rang out again. It's the two of them. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. Yu family's number 3 was Huang Song. Number 5 from the Luo family was the purple-robed young man who had tried to test Lu Ming previously. His name was Wuxia. Bus. Huang Song's figure appeared in the fighting ring. He looked at Wuxia with a ferocious expression and shouted, "Ha Wuxia, one didn't expect it to be you. Hurry up and get up here to die." Wuxia stood up with a grave expression. Among the top 10 young experts other than the king body, Huang Song was ranked first and Wuxia was ranked 5th. In the previous battles he was definitely not Huang Song's match. If you can't defeat him, then admit defeat. It's more important to save your life. Luo Xian sent a message to Wuxia. Wuxia nodded and rushed up to the fighting ring. The two of them started to fight. Huang Song's combat strength was indeed stronger than Wu Zai's. Huang Song's spirit body seemed to be stronger than the average upper-class sky spirit body. His attacks were like a storm and a fierce beast, madly attacking Wuxia. Wuxia could only defend passively. However, after a few moves he was clawed by Huang Song, and a piece of flesh was torn off his body. Die die haha. Huang Song seemed to be even more excited when he encountered fresh blood. His eyes revealed traces of blood-red light, and his attacks became even more violent. Die. Wuxia roared. After using her most powerful attack, she rushed down the fighting ring. He knew that he wasn't Huang Song's match, and if he continued to fight, his life would be in danger. He could only rush down the fighting stage and admit defeat. However, Huang Song clearly did not want to let him off so easily. "You want to leave?" Die. Huang Song roared. Bus. And NBSP whoosh. The sky was filled with claw shadows as they headed toward Wuxia. Puchi. Blood and flesh splattered everywhere. One of Wu Zai's arms had been torn off by Huang Song. Wuxia endured the pain and rushed down the fighting ring. "If you're really trash, you don't even have the courage to fight to the death. One think you should just admit defeat as soon as possible." Huang Song sneered as he looked at the Luo clan's Heaven's Pride experts with ridicule. Many people's faces were ugly, but at the same time, they also revealed a look of fear. Even Wuxia had been defeated so miserably. On their side, other than the two king physiques, no one could fight with Huang Song. If he encountered Huang Song, even his life would be difficult. The morale of the remaining people was somewhat low. Huang Song's gaze swept coldly over Lu Ming. He sneered a few times and returned to the stands. The competition continued, and not long after, the second round of the competition ended. The difference in numbers between the two sides was even greater. The Yu family still had 19 people while the Luo family only had 9. In the second round, the Yu family had 10 people who did not need to fight. It seems that the Yu family still has the upper hand in this battle. The Yu family has been in control of the Youluo demonic kingdom for 20,000 years. They are getting stronger and stronger. Naturally, there will be more geniuses who will join them. That's right. Although both sides have two king physiques, outside of the king physique, the Luo family is far behind. Many people in the surroundings were discussing. Some of the Yu family experts were already smiling. The powerhouses of the Luo family looked gloomy. After this failure, the Luo family would have to wait another 10,000 years. Soon the third round began. Among the remaining 9 people from the Luo family, they were all quite strong, so their chances of winning in the third round were high. Lu Ming did not know if he was lucky or unlucky. The opponent he met in this round was not strong and he was defeated easily. In this round, out of the 9 people from the Luo clan, 6 had won, and 3 had been eliminated. As for the Yu family, 6 people were eliminated, leaving 13 people. 13 against 6. Then the fourth round began. Yu family's number 1 versus Luo family's number 1. The Youluo Devil Kingdom elder was stunned for a moment after drawing 2 numbers. Then he reported the numbers. As soon as he finished speaking, the scene immediately went into an uproar. Many people were excited, because the first ones on both sides were Yuning and Luo Xian. The eldest and youngest princesses of the Youluo Devil Kingdom were the 2 most outstanding women in the younger generation of the Youluo Devil Kingdom. Not only were they extremely beautiful, but their cultivation talent was even more shocking. They both had king physiques. Now, these two beautiful princesses were going to fight. Who would win? Many people were looking forward to it. The two of them stood up and jumped onto the fighting ring. Their eyes met, like divine swords clashing. Sister Luo Xian, he'll make you accept your defeat wholeheartedly. Yu Ning smiled, his face still cold and arrogant. This is exactly what one wanted to say. I will defeat you, defeat all of you. Luo Xian said, revealing two tiger teeth. Then the two of them moved and started fighting. As soon as the two of them made their move, they used their divine abilities. The laws of the king path collided in the air, causing loud rumbles to ring out. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged dozens of moves, and neither of them had a clear winner. Sister Luo Xian, so that's all you've got? It looks like you're going to lose. Yu Ning smiled. Then the aura on her body skyrocketed. Absolute Saint in the Great Circle. Princess Yu Ning has broken through to the Great Circle of the Absolute Saint realm. Just like Princess Luo Xian, she's been at the pinnacle of Absolute Saint all this time. I didn't expect her to make a breakthrough now. One wonder if Princess Luo Xian has made a breakthrough. Otherwise she'll be defeated. Many people cried out in alarm, especially the Luo family, whose faces revealed a heavy expression. If Luo Xian were to be defeated, then the Luo family would truly have no hope this time. Chapter 2031. Lu Ming vs. Huang Song. Chapter 2031. Lu Ming vs. Huang Song. Sister Luo Xian, how are you going to fight me now? Yu Ning sneered as he stepped forward. Waves of powerful aura pressed down on Luo Xian. A month ago, her cultivation had still been at the peak of the Absolute Saint realm. However, recently she had broken through to the perfected Absolute Saint realm. With this cultivation, she truly stood at the peak of the Youluo demonic kingdom. Ji Tian used to be known as the #1 prodigy of the Youluo demonic kingdom, and his cultivation was only in the perfected Absolute Saint realm. Do you think you've won for sure? At this moment, Luo Xian's voice was heard. Boom. Then Luo Xian's body also burst out with a powerful aura. Luo Xian's cultivation had been at the pinnacle of an Absolute Saint before, but now he had reached the perfected Absolute Saint realm. Yu Ning's expression suddenly changed as he exclaimed, "Your cultivation has also broken through, of course. Do you think you're the only one who has broken through?" Luo Xian chuckled. "So what if you've broken through? 111 still defeat you?" Yu Ning said coldly as he charged towards Luo Xian. The two princesses started to fight again. Both of them had king bodies and could control the king path laws. Their cultivation had reached the Absolute Saint perfection, and their battle was extremely shocking. Ordinary emperors to be weren't their match. On the fighting ring, only two shadows could be seen clashing continuously. Some of the weaker cultivators couldn't even see clearly. It seems that no one can gain the upper hand. Lu Ming paid close attention to the battle on the fighting ring. He realized that Yu Ning and Luo Xian had the same cultivation and combat strength. Moreover, the two of them seemed to know each other very well. They were in a stalemate and it was difficult to determine the winner. Boom. Boom. Not long after, the two of them had already exchanged hundreds of moves. The two of them had been fighting for a long time, and they were both emitting white smoke. They had circulated their saint energy to the maximum and exchanged a few blows, but there was still no clear winner. Their breathing started to get heavier and slower. This was a sign of extreme exhaustion. However, the two of them were very persistent. Neither of them wanted to lose to the other, so they gritted their teeth and continued to fight. In the end, the two of them started to move slower and slower, as if they were in slow motion. "Brother Luo, it's not good for them to continue fighting. Why don't we tie this battle?" The Yu family head, who was also the current king of the Youluo Devil Kingdom, looked at the Luo family head. "Alright, this round is considered a draw." The head of the Luo family nodded. If they continued to fight, both sides would only suffer losses. If they overexerted themselves, it would not be good for the two. The masters of the Luo and Yu families nodded. The doyen of the Youluo Devil Kingdom moved and appeared in front of Yu Ning and Luo Xian, blocking them. "This round is considered a draw. You can go back and rest," the elder said. Yu Ning and Luo Xian glared at each other unwillingly and snorted coldly. Then they returned to the stands and swallowed the pills. They watched the rest of the competition while refining the pills. In the next battle, it was another king physique from the Luo clan side who easily defeated his opponent. Yu family's number 3 versus Luo family's number 31. After the Luo family's king physique went into battle, the doyen reported the number. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. It was his turn. "Also, isn't number 3 of the Yu family Huang Song?" Lu Ming stood up, a cold smile on his lips. The eyes of Luo Xian, Wuxia and the others also lit up. Others might not know, but they knew that Lu Ming had a king body. He had easily defeated Wuxia back then, and his combat strength was definitely above Huang Song's. I will take revenge for you. Lu Ming patted Wu Zai's shoulder and stepped into the fighting ring. Haha, I finally met this kid. Huang Song was overjoyed. His expression was extremely sinister and excited. Since Princess Yuning wanted to kill Lu Ming, he naturally had to get rid of Lu Ming on her behalf. Huang Song, don't kill him so easily. It's best to let him beg for mercy miserably on the fighting stage before killing him. Jipeng said to Huang Song as he glared at Lu Ming viciously. Haha, that's just what I want. Huang Song laughed and rushed up the fighting ring. He glared at Lu Ming with a ferocious look and said, Kid, kneel down and beg for mercy. One might let you die a quick death. He thought that he would see a look of fear on Lu Ming's face. However, he was disappointed. Lu Ming seemed to be smiling yet not smiling. He looked at Huang Song and said 2 words, How lamentable. What did you say, kid? Huang Song's face turned gloomy. I say you're about to reach the end of your life but you don't know it. How sad. Lu Ming added. Haha, kid, you're saying that you can kill me? I'd like to see where your confidence comes from. Huang Song hollered. As soon as he finished speaking, his figure charged towards Lu Ming. His claws were like knives as he grabbed at Lu Ming. On Huang Song's hands he was also wearing a type of glove. This glove was like mercury wrapping around his palm and could change at will. His fingertips were extremely sharp. Zzz. Black lightning flickered on Lu Ming's palm as he threw a palm strike at Huang Song. You're only at the peak of the absolute saint realm, yet you dare to fight Huang Song head-on. You're really looking for death. Huang Song's spiritual body is extremely powerful. Even an expert in the great circle of the absolute saint realm wouldn't dare to face Huang Song head-on. This brat doesn't know what's good for him. It looks like Huang Song wants to kill him. He's finished. The moment Lu Ming made his move, he attracted a wave of discussion. However, the next moment all the sounds disappeared at once. This was because Lu Ming and Huang Song had already collided. Boom. A figure wailed and flew far away, falling to the ground. It was not Lu Ming as everyone had imagined, but Huang Song. Huang Song was sent flying 100 meters and fell to the ground. His entire body twitched non-stop, and his entire body was covered in lightning. On the other hand, Lu Ming did not move. How was that possible? Lu Ming's cultivation base was only at the peak of an absolute saint. How could he have sent Huang Song flying with one move? Lu Ming did not have the king physique. How is that possible? On the grandstand, Ji Ping roared, his face filled with disbelief. Although Lu Ming's combat strength was strong and he could defeat him, they did not think that Lu Ming could defeat Huang Song. Other than the king physique, Huang Song was almost invincible in a battle of the same level. Moreover, Huang Song's cultivation was even higher. Yuning's expression was extremely gloomy. Even Luo Xian, Wuxia and the others were shocked. Although they had guessed that Lu Ming would be able to defeat Huang Song, the prerequisite was that Lu Ming had to use the King Path Law. However, Lu Ming had not used the King Path Law at all and he had defeated Huang Song. This was beyond their expectations. Of course, they did not know that Lu Ming's spirit body was far superior to an ordinary high-class heaven spirit body. Moreover, he had cultivated 2 saint hearts and his saint energy was far superior to those of the same level. It was not inferior to those in the absolute saint perfection. He could easily defeat Huang Song even without using the King Path Law. Lu Ming took a step forward and neared Huang Song. He looked down at the other party and said, "Didn't you want to kill me? Come." Huang Song looked at Lu Ming. His expression was no longer malevolent. Instead, it was filled with fear. He roared and rushed out of the fighting ring. He wanted to rush down the fighting ring and admit defeat. Lu Ming would not let him do as he wished. Whoosh. Lu Ming was like a bolt of lightning. In a flash, he appeared in front of Huang Song. The lightning in his hand flashed and condensed into a long lightning spear, which he thrust at Huang Song. Chapter 2032, The Law of the Six Hells. Chapter 2032, The Law of the Six Hells. Huang Song bellowed in rage and tried his best to block Lu Ming's lightning spear. However, the spear trembled as if it was indestructible. Chila. The lightning spear pierced through Huang Song's attack and went through his shoulder, bringing Huang Song along as it slid out a distance. Huang Song shouted in fear. He rushed in another direction, wanting to rush down the fighting stage. He no longer had the heart to fight. At this moment, there was only fear in his heart. Lu Ming's combat strength was too strong. It had exceeded his expectations. His fighting spirit had already collapsed. In this case he was even less of a match for Lu Ming. Bus. Bus. Lu Ming's figure flashed and the long black spear kept stabbing out. In the end, it pierced through Huang Song's left leg and pinned him to the ground. You're just a piece of trash. You don't even have the courage to fight. Where's your arrogance from before? Lu Ming took a step forward and stepped on Huang Song's face, looking down at him. Previously, Huang Song had been extremely arrogant. When he had defeated Wuxia, he had called Wuxia trash and said that he did not even have the courage to fight. But now, facing Lu Ming, he was the same. Now that Lu Ming had returned this sentence to him, it was really ironic. Eldest princess, save me. Huang Song roared, asking for help from Princess Yuning. Lu Ming, don't overdo it. At this moment, Princess Yuning spoke. Nonsense. Lu Ming looked at Princess Yuning and berated her. Are you blind or deaf? Before this, when Huang Song was killing our people, why didn't you tell us to stop? Also, it was Huang Song who said he wanted to kill me just now, why didn't you try to stop him? Lu Ming's sarcastic voice spread throughout the entire venue. Princess Yuning's face turned extremely ugly. Impudent. Who do you think you are? How dare you talk to the princess like that? I'll cripple you. An expert from the Yu family shouted and exploded with a powerful aura. What are you doing? The master of the Luo family said coldly. He glanced at the Yu family powerhouse and the latter's expression changed. Brother, you don't break the rules? The head of the Luo family said coldly. Sit down. The Yu family master glanced at the Yu family expert, who could only restrain his aura and retreat obediently. The competition between the two clans happened once every 10,000 years. It had been countless years, so there were naturally rules. No one else was allowed to interfere. Otherwise, the Youluo demonic kingdom's senate would immediately declare the party who broke the rules as the loser. This kid is interesting. The patriarch of the Luo clan smiled. Good scolding, good scolding. Luo Xian laughed out loud as if he had vented his anger. This made Princess Yuning's face turn even uglier. Now I'll send you on your way. Lu Ming looked at Huang Song. Don't. Huang Song struggled with all his might, his eyes filled with fear. However, Lu Ming's spear fell and pierced through the space between his eyebrows, killing Huang Song. Many people at the scene let out a long breath. Huang Song was dead. He had been killed by an unknown youth. The strongest heaven's favorite from the Youluo demonic kingdom, other than the king body, was killed after a few moves by Lu Ming. This made everyone fearful of Lu Ming's combat strength. This kid, how is he so strong? How is he so strong? Ji Peng was incomparably terrified. Don't worry, if this kid encounters me, he'll take revenge for Huang Song. Ji Tian said coldly, his cold eyes staring at Lu Ming. Lu Ming seemed to have sensed something. He turned back to look at Ji Tian, smiled faintly and returned to the stands. There's hope. At this moment, the eyes of some powerhouses of the Luo family lit up. They saw hope. Although they were few in number, they now saw hope. That was because both sides had a king body. If the two king physiques of the two sides met before Lu Ming met Ji Tian, and both of them were injured like Yuning and Luo Xian, then they would have a chance of winning. If the king physique on both sides were injured, who else in the Yu family could be Lu Ming's match? Lu Ming alone could annihilate the other party. Obviously, the Yu family had thought of this as well, and their faces darkened. Because of Lu Ming, the situation that they were in control of had an unpredictable turn. Don't worry, they won't have a chance. Ji Tian spoke with great confidence. Could it be that you've already? Yuning seemed to have thought of something and his face lit up. Not bad. Ji Tian nodded. Yuning was overjoyed and heaved a sigh of relief. This way they were sure to win. If you see Lu Ming, kill him for me. Yuning sent a voice transmission to Ji Tian. If it was as Ji Tian had said, Lu Ming would meet Ji Tian sooner or later. Everyone had different thoughts in their minds, but the competition continued. When this round was over, there were only 3 people left on the Luo family's side. The Yu family only had 9 people left. A new round began. This round did not have a big battle that attracted too much attention. Lu Ming easily defeated his opponent, and so did the Luo family's royal body. However, on the Luo family's side, another person had also been defeated by the opponent's expert. In this way there were only 2 people left in the Luo family. As for the Yu family, there were only 7 people left. Yu family's number 2, Luo family's number 2. When the founding elder announced the number, everyone was excited. Finally, it was time for the main event. The Yu family's number 2 was Ji Tian, and the Luo family's number 2 was the king body Long Yan. The king physique of the two sides were about to battle again. In the past, Jianghu was known as the #1 person among the younger generation in Youluo demonic kingdom. His cultivation had long reached the perfected absolute saint realm. However, Long Yan wasn't weaker than him. His cultivation had long reached the perfected absolute saint realm. The last time the two of them fought was a few years ago. At that time, the two of them had fought for hundreds of moves, and in the end Long Yan lost to Jianghu by one move. However, a few years had passed and anything could happen. Jianghu might not be able to defeat Long Yan now. They finally matched. The eyes of the Luo family's experts lit up, and their faces were filled with joy. Finally, before Lu Ming met Jianghu, the two king physiques went against each other. This was what they wanted to see and their only hope of winning. As long as Jianghu and Long Yan were both injured, Lu Ming would be able to sweep away the remaining people of the Yu family and the Luo family would win this time. Long Yan, we don't seek victory in this battle. However, we can't let Jianghu win either. The head of the Luo family sent a message to Long Yan. Long Yan nodded and stepped onto the fighting ring. Jianghu also stepped onto the fighting ring. Long Yan, you were no match for me a few years ago. Today you will not be my match either. Jianghu spoke with great confidence and an invincible belief. Not necessarily. Long Yan said indifferently. Then he took a step forward and his body was covered in terrifying flames. This kind of flame was an extremely terrifying flame law. It was called the destructive heavenly fire law and it was also a king path law. The sixth prison. Jianghu said softly. 6 worlds seemed to have appeared around him. One was a sea of blood, one was filled with boundless demonic chi and one was filled with killing intent. So it's the law of the 6 hells. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. Chapter 2033. Chapter 2033, Victory and Defeat Decided? Chapter 2033. Chapter 2033, Victory and Defeat Decided? The laws of the 6 hells and the laws of reincarnation were actually somewhat similar. However, one was an ultimate law while the other was a king path law. In terms of power they were far inferior. The law of 6 hells was a bit like a simplified version of the law of reincarnation. The 6 worlds enveloped Jianghu, making him look like a demonic god. Look at the burning laws of the 6 hells. Long Yan let out a long roar, and the flames soared into the sky like a flaming god of war. A flaming spear appeared in his hand and he charged at Jianghu. He thrust his long spear forward, and a terrifying spear light pierced towards Jianghu, trying to pierce through his laws of 6 hells. 6 hell divine fist. Jianghu stepped forward and threw out his fists. It was as if he was driving the 6 worlds. The 6 worlds turned into fist radiance and blasted toward the dragon flame. Boom. The spear and the fist radiance collided with each other, producing a violent boom. The destructive heavenly fire law of the dragon flame could burn everything. It had the power of destruction and was extremely terrifying. It was no weaker than the law of the 6 hells. With a boom, two of them retreated at the same time. But then the two of them charged at each other again and started to fight. Their combat strength was almost on par. A few years ago, the two of them had fought for hundreds of moves before the victor was decided. It was the same this time. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged dozens of moves, but it was still a draw. There's hope. The eyes of the powerhouses from the Luo family lit up. If this went on, he might end up like the eldest Princess Yu and the little Princess Luo Xin, both of whom would suffer. In the past, they were afraid of such a situation because they were no match for the Yu family under the king physique. But now they were looking forward to such a situation because of Lu Ming. The Yu family's powerhouses were the exact opposite. This was extremely disadvantageous to the Yu family, and their faces were all gloomy. Jianghu and Long Yan fought fiercely, and dozens of moves passed in the blink of an eye. Boom. There was a violent explosion and the two of them retreated. Jianghu, I've said it before. You won't be able to defeat me in a few years. Long Yan opened his mouth. His voice was like a great bell, and the terrifying flames were about to rush into the clouds. His eyes were bright as if he had vented his anger. Hee Long Yan, you're really naive. At this moment, Jianghu smiled faintly and his voice was filled with sarcasm. What do you mean? Long Yan's eyes narrowed. For some reason he had a bad feeling when he saw Jianghu smile. Could it be that Jianghu had not used his full strength? Then I'll let you see my true strength. Jianghu sneered and took a step forward. Buzz. A ring of light emanated from Jianghu's body and surrounded him like a god descending to the mortal world. Light of law. You've cultivated the light of law. Long Yan's pupils contracted sharply as he roared in disbelief. Boom. Boom. At that moment, RHE powerhouses of the Luo family and the Yu family could not help but be shocked. They stood up from their seats and emitted a powerful aura. However, the feelings of the two families were completely different. Aha, nomological light. It's the light of the King Path's nomological light. There's no suspense in this battle. The Yu family experts laughed in excitement. As for the Luo family, they were in disbelief. In the end, they sat back in their seats heavily, as if all their strength had disappeared in an instant. The light of law. Ji Tian had actually refined the light of law. There was no longer any suspense in this battle. Long Yan was definitely not Ji Tian's match. They both had king physiques, but there was a huge difference between the light of law and the light of law without it. If Long Yan was defeated, Lu Ming would naturally be defeated. How did this happen? Luo Xian also spoke helplessly. At first, she seemed to have seen the light of victory. As Lu Ming also had the king physique, it was very likely that they would win this battle. However, she had never expected Ji Tian to have cultivated the light of law. It was extremely difficult to cultivate the light of laws with a king physique, but once it was cultivated, it would far surpass other king physiques. Ji Tian has indeed refined the light of law. At this moment, Yu Ning's face was full of smiles. She was secretly glad that she did not offend the Ji family because of Lu Ming. The Ji family not only had the Defender General of the state, but Ji Tian's talent was even more amazing. Although Lu Ming's ability was not bad, there was a huge difference between him and Ji Tian. At this moment she was extremely relaxed. The trace of regret she had for kicking Lu Ming out had disappeared without a trace. Lu Ming could not influence the overall situation. The Yu family will definitely win. The surrounding spectators also sighed. It seemed that the Yu family would continue to rule the Youluo demonic kingdom. Boom. In the fighting ring, Ji Tian performed the light of law. His aura became stronger and pressed toward the dragon flame. Long Yan, do you still want to fight? Ji Tian asked indifferently as if he was above everyone. Fight. Long Yan gritted his teeth and charged at Ji Tian with the flaming spear in his hand. You overestimate yourself. Then he'll let you see the power of the light of law. 111 Let you see the difference between not cultivating the light of law and cultivating the light of law. Ji Tian threw a punch, and the power of the light of law was added to the fist force. Boom. The punch collided with Long Yan's spear. Buzz. Long Yan's spear trembled and buzzed. The destructive heavenly fire law on it trembled. The next moment, Long Yan's destructive heavenly fire law was pierced through. The terrifying power made Long Yan retreat more than a dozen steps before he could regain his balance. Long Yan's body trembled and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His eyes revealed a trace of shock. He was no match for him at all and was injured by his opponent in one move. Boom. Boom. Ji Tian threw 2 consecutive punches. Although the dragon flame tried its best to resist, it was no match for him and was completely suppressed. After 2 punches, Long Yan spat out another mouthful of blood. I've lost. Long Yan shook his head with a lonely expression. He moved and rushed out of the fighting ring. He knew that it would be useless to continue fighting. He was no match for Ji Tian and would only be humiliating himself. I lost again. The head of the Luo family and the other experts sighed helplessly. They had been defeated again, and the Yu family would continue to rule RHE Youluo demonic kingdom for the next 10,000 years. They had been defeated 3 times in a row, and they were somewhat unwilling. If this continued, the Luo family would disappear, and it would be even more difficult to compare with the Yu family. The Yu family members were naturally ecstatic. Brother Luo, do you still want to continue? The Yu family master was all smiles as he looked at the Luo family master. Of course he was happy. With the Yu family's victory, he would continue to be the king of the Youluo Devil Kingdom and dominate the region. In his opinion, RHE Luo family only had Lu Ming left, so there was no need to compare anymore. No matter how strong Lu Ming was, could he possibly fight Ji Tian? Country ruler, according to RHE rules, this competition will continue until the end, until all the people on one side are defeated. Ji Tian cupped his fists and said to RHE family master. He had yet to kill Lu Ming and take revenge for Huang Song. How could he let the competition end early? Chapter 2034. Chapter 2034, Come, King Physique? Chapter 2034. Chapter 2034 Come, King Physique. I'm confused. That's true. The competition must continue. The Yu family had laughed. Lu Ming also smiled. Even if the other party wanted to end the competition early, he wouldn't agree to it. The competition continued, but no one paid much attention to it. They all thought that the outcome had been decided and that continuing the competition was just a formality. If Lu Ming is smart, he will rush down the fighting ring and admit defeat when he's up against the others later. Otherwise, he won't stand a chance when he meets Jianghu later. Yes, if I were Lu Ming, I would definitely do the same. Many people seem to have already guessed the outcome. Later on, Lu Ming would definitely rush down the fighting ring and admit defeat. The doyens continued to draw numbers. Lu Ming was up against a skinny young man from the Yu family. The two of them stepped onto the fighting ring. "Brat, let me finish you off." The skinny young man was smug. He also thought that Lu Ming would take the initiative to rush down the fighting ring and admit defeat. Otherwise, Lu Ming would be finished if he encountered Jianghu in the next round. Therefore, he daringly charged at Lu Ming and pounced on him. Then, he saw a fist rapidly expanding in front of his eyes, and then heavily hit his nose. Gotcha. The skinny young man's nose was broken. With a scream, his body was sent flying hundreds of meters away and fell on the fighting ring. Many people were stunned. They initially thought that Lu Ming would take the initiative to rush down from the fighting ring and admit defeat. They did not expect that Lu Ming would attack them directly. Perhaps he's just concerned about his reputation and wants to win one round before admitting defeat. If we're unlucky and we encounter Jianghu in the next round, I'll definitely regret it. Some people sneered. Bus. Lu Ming moved and rushed to the side of the skinny young man. He kicked the skinny young man off the fighting ring. Lu Ming won this round. However, the people of the Luo family only shook their heads slightly. Whether they won or not would not change the final result. This way the Luo family was left with only Lu Ming, while the Yu family had 6 people. The competition continued, but the next number to be drawn was from the Yu family. Whoever was drawn would have a battle with Lu Ming. Yu family number 47. The elder announced, and a young lady from the Yu family took the stage. Many people began to guess whether Lu Ming would admit defeat in this round. It was because the further they went, the higher the chances of him meeting Jianghu. Many people felt that Lu Ming wanted to win one round and then admit defeat to save some face. However, Lu Ming made his move and blasted the young woman off the fighting ring in 2 moves. Still not admitting defeat, you really want face to the death. Let's see how Jianghu regrets it when we meet him later. Some people sneered. The competition continued. The next person was still not Jianghu. Naturally, he was easily defeated by Lu Ming. Perhaps it was luck, but the next few people were not Jianghu. Lu Ming defeated them all. There were only 2 people left in the Yu family's arena. They were Jianghu and the other person was Jianghu. Lu Ming is still not admitting defeat. Does he really want to fight Jianghu? At this point, some people had changed their minds because Lu Ming had not admitted defeat. If this went on, they would definitely encounter Jianghu. How is that possible? He won't even have the chance to escape from the fighting ring if he fights with Jianghu. He'll definitely be killed. I don't know what he's thinking, he's really crazy. The crowd was abuzz with discussion, but Jianghu's expression was unsightly. If Lu Ming did not admit defeat, she would not have to face him in the next round. He kept praying in his heart that Lu Ming would meet Jianghu in the next round. Unfortunately, things did not go as he wished. Yu family number 9 Jianghu. The founding elder drew a number and called out. Detestable. Jianghu roared in his heart. Why is he here? Why was Lu Ming always unable to touch Jianghu? Many people were also speechless. Lu Ming was too lucky. It was strange that he could not meet Jianghu. Lu Ming stepped onto the fighting ring and looked at Jianghu. He smiled faintly and said, "Come down." Jianghu's face was gloomy as he stepped onto the fighting ring. He looked at Lu Ming and said, "Lu Ming, I advise you to admit defeat. Otherwise, you'll die a terrible death when you meet my brother in the next round." Right now, Jianghu's heart was filled with complicated feelings. Naturally, he hoped that Lu Ming would encounter Jianghu and then be killed by him. However, if Lu Ming continued to fight, he would be in a very miserable state. "You're actually thinking about me? I can't figure it out, I beat you up so badly back then." Lu Ming deliberately looked surprised. Jianghu gritted his teeth and roared in his heart. "If I wasn't facing you in this battle, would I have thought of you?" But now he could only go against his will and say, "What happened back then is in the past. I think you're still a talent. Quickly admit defeat." "Admit defeat? Forget it, my plan is to give you a good beating and then go and give your big brother a good beating." Lu Ming smiled and even stretched out his fist. "You're crazy." Jianghu roared in anger. Then he suddenly turned around and rushed down the fighting stage. However, Lu Ming's figure moved and caught up to him. With a palm strike, lightning flashed and enveloped Ji Peng like a large net. Ji Peng tried his best to resist, but when the lightning struck, all his attacks were destroyed. Oh, Ji Peng's entire body was covered in lightning, which slithered around like little black snakes. Bah! Lu Ming then slapped Ji Peng's face. Ji Peng let out a blood-curdling screech as blood mixed with his teeth spurted out. At the same time, more lightning bolts covered Ji Peng's body. His hair stood on end, and white smoke came out of his 7 orifices as if he had been electrocuted. He looked extremely miserable. In the stands, Yuning Jitian and Jitian's father, the Defender General of the state, all had extremely ugly expressions. In their opinion, Lu Ming's act of humiliating Ji Peng was equivalent to a slap to their faces. "I'll pay him back tenfold for what he did to Ji Peng," Jitian said through gritted teeth. Lu Ming clutched Ji Peng's neck and walked to the edge of the fighting ring step by step. Then he threw Ji Peng off the grandstand. He extended a finger at random and pointed at Jitian. He curled his finger and said, "Come, King Physique." Bus. Jitian couldn't help but rush up to the fighting ring. Anyway, he was the only one left in the Yu family, so there was no need to draw a number. This Lu Ming really wants to fight Jitian. Where did he get the guts? It's indeed strange. Could it be that Lu Ming still has a trump card? This is a fair fight. No monarch weapons are allowed. He doesn't have a king physique, what trump card would he have? Many people were in a heated discussion. They could not figure out what Lu Ming was up to. With Jitian's combat strength, Lu Ming would definitely die if he went up against Jitian. Why did he not admit defeat earlier? Why did he hold on until now? Was it just to humiliate Ji Peng? But it wasn't worth risking his life. Many people were curious. They looked at the fighting ring wanting to know what would happen to Lu Ming. Chapter 2035. He has the king physique. Chapter 2035. He has the king physique. Jitian's eyes were extremely cold. 6 worlds emerged and a terrifying aura kept charging at Lu Ming like a gale. "Now you don't have the chance to admit defeat," Jitian said coldly. "Who said I'm going to admit defeat? It's really laughable. From the beginning to the end, I never said that I would admit defeat. Can you not make wild guesses?" Lu Ming pursed his lips. "That's good. 111 make you kneel in the fighting ring and beg for mercy," Jitian said coldly. He took a step forward and the 6 worlds moved with him. He did not seem to be fast, but he was actually extremely fast. In an instant he was in front of Lu Ming. Boom. With a punch, one of the blood prison worlds was blasted out along with Jitian's fist radiance. It was as if a sea of blood had enveloped Lu Ming, and the smell of blood filled his nose. Oh! Lu Ming's fist crackled and black lightning cauldrons filled the air as he threw a punch. Boom. The 2 fists collided and the sky was like a huge drum, shaking violently. Rings of lightning and blood burst out in all directions. A figure flickered and stepped on the fighting ring, retreating continuously. The person who retreated was Jitian. The scene suddenly quieted down. Countless people were dumbfounded and looked at the fighting ring in disbelief. Lu Ming had actually forced Jitian to retreat with 1 punch in a head-on confrontation. How was this possible? What was going on? Lu Ming's cultivation base was only at the peak of the absolute saint realm, which was weaker than Jitian's. Moreover, he did not have a king body. How could he defeat Jitian? This was simply unbelievable. Jitian, don't be careless. Use more strength. At that moment, the Yu family master's voice spread throughout the entire area. What he meant was that Jitian was too careless and did not use his full strength. That was why he was forced to retreat by Lu Ming. Many people nodded. That should be the case. Otherwise, how could Lu Ming have defeated Jitian? However, Jitian's eyes were extremely solemn, and his heart was in turmoil. The others thought that he had been careless. Only he knew how powerful Lu Ming's punch was. The saint energy was not any weaker than his. The power of Lu Ming's spirit body was even more terrifying. He did not use his full strength just now, but Lu Ming's strength had indeed shocked him. 6 Hellfiend Fist. Jitian let out a long roar and the 6 worlds burst out with different auras, which turned into a terrifying fist force that rushed toward Lu Ming. Its power was indeed much stronger than before. Good. Lu Ming did not retreat at all. He stepped forward and threw another punch. Every punch was filled with lightning wrapping around Lu Ming's fists. His fist radiance was like lightning. Bang, bang. The 2 of them fought with speed and exchanged dozens of moves in the blink of an eye. Their chi shot out and rumbled continuously. However, Lu Ming did not show any weakness. Instead, he seemed to have the upper hand. This time, everyone was stunned. Everyone, including the Yu family and the Luo family, was shocked. Even the patriarchs of the two clans and some of the true Emperor realm experts were extremely shocked. He did not have a king body and his cultivation was one level weaker, but he was able to fight with Tian. Even they had never heard of such combat strength. So strong. Luo Xian, Wuxia, and the others were dumbfounded at first, but their eyes lit up soon after. They knew that Lu Ming had a king body and could control the king path law. Now that he did not use the king path law, he was able to fight Tian. Once he used the king path law, he might really win. They had originally thought that there was no hope, but now they saw hope. Yu Ning's expression was extremely ugly. She was very unhappy because Lu Ming was her man in the beginning, but he was later expelled by her. It's useless no matter how strong he is. What I want is the final victory. Tian still has the light of law that he has yet to use, so he will definitely win. I'm not wrong to choose Tian. Yu Ning warned himself in his heart. Boom. Lu Ming and Tian exchanged another blow and both of them retreated. The difference was that Lu Ming took 5 steps back while Tian took 7 steps back. Tian's face was particularly gloomy. He had a king physique, yet he had to fight Lu Ming to this extent. He had lost a lot of face today. Today he would wash away his shame with Lu Ming's blood. Lu Ming, your combat strength has indeed exceeded my expectations. However, you're still going to lose. Let's go. Tian shouted. The light of laws emanated and surrounded him, making his aura stronger. Boom. With the support of the light of the law, Tian's aura increased greatly. He threw a punch and the 6 worlds moved with the punch, pressing down on Lu Ming. Lu Ming swung his fist and collided with Tian again. Bang. Lu Ming seemed to have been hit by a terrifying force and his figure drifted backward. What a pity. The Luo family's expert sighed. If Tian had not cultivated the light of law, the Luo family would have had a great chance of winning this battle. However, Tian had cultivated the light of law. Unless the Son of Heaven appeared or someone from the younger generation had entered the Emperor to be realm, no one was Tian's match. However, how many children of God were there in the entire land of myriad demons? Even the Youluo demonic kingdom did not have any emperor to be below the age of 50. The others also shook their heads slightly, thinking that Lu Ming would definitely lose. Kneel down. Tian had gained the upper hand in one move. His momentum was like a rainbow as he continued to press down on Lu Ming. He wanted to defeat Lu Ming in one go. The light of law is indeed powerful. Lu Ming pursed his lips, his expression still very calm. At this time he raised his hand and pointed with a finger. There was no black lightning. Instead it was filled with countless runes. Brr. The endless runes formed a true dragon. The true dragon roared at the sky and pounced at Tian. Boom. The true dragon's dragon claw tore apart Tian's fist force, and dense runes filled the air. Tian roared in shock and the 6 worlds kept shaking. All kinds of auras burst out and blocked the endless runes. The law of the king path, you have the king physique. Tian's angry roar resounded through the entire scene. Silence. The scene fell into a deathly silence. Everyone was dumbfounded and in disbelief. The king physique. Lu Ming actually had the king physique? Then why did he use the demonic lightning law just now? A person who could control 2 types of laws? How was that possible? He wasn't a martial supreme. Many people realized that their brains had short-circuited. However, when they saw the dense runes surrounding Lu Ming's body, they could clearly recognize that Lu Ming really controlled the king path law and had a king body. The Array Dao law of King Dao law, haha. The master of the Luo family suddenly burst into laughter. Everything that had happened today was beyond his expectations. Lu Ming actually had a king body. He was already so powerful without using the king path law earlier. Now that he used the king path law, how powerful would he be? You already knew that Lu Ming has the king physique, right? The patriarch of the Lu clan looked at Luo Xian. Yes. Luo Xian nodded. Although one knew that he had a king body, one didn't know that his combat strength was so strong. Indeed, how could an ordinary king body have such strong battle power? Chapter 2036. Do you regret it? Chapter 2036. Do you regret it? Gotcha. Yu Ning crushed the white jade golden cup in his hand, his eyes extremely cold. She had never expected Lu Ming to have a king body. If she had known that Lu Ming had the king physique and such powerful combat strength, she would have considered it carefully back then. Tian will definitely win. Yu Ning roared in her heart as she tried to persuade herself. However, her clenched fist showed how nervous she was. At this moment, Ji Peng had already woken up, but he was also shocked. King Physique, there's nothing amazing about it. Lu Ming said calmly. Lu Ming, don't think that you can defeat me just because you have mastered the King Path Law. Without the Law of Light, everything is illusory. Kill. Ji Tian roared and charged at Lu Ming with all his might. The laws of the six hells, the light of the laws, and the arts of divine powers were activated to the extreme by Ji Tian. Let's end this. Lu Ming muttered and pointed again. Runes filled the air, and another true dragon condensed and pounced toward Ji Tian. This true dragon contained 3 of the 9 scrolls of the Tao of Formations. Lu Ming had only used the illusionary spirit scroll and the sealed scroll for the previous finger attack. Lu Ming had used the annihilation scroll, the illusionary spirit scroll and the sealed scroll. The 3 scrolls were combined into one, and the power of this move was almost on par with the chaos finger tribulation. Boom. When the true dragon collided with Ji Tian, a terrifying force tore apart Ji Tian's fist radiance. Countless runes surged toward Ji Tian madly. Ji Tian's body trembled violently, and his body was thrown back. He was in the air and spat out a large mouthful of blood. He tried his best to resist the seal of the runes, but Lu Ming was already approaching him at high speed. Then he pointed his finger again. This time it wasn't a true dragon that had formed but a giant elephant. The giant elephant's body was like a small mountain, and its legs were like heavenly pillars. It stomped toward Ji Tian. Bang! An elephant's leg stepped on Ji Tian's face. Ji Tian was instantly stunned. His body was like a huge rock, smashing heavily on the fighting ring, causing the ring to rumble continuously. Ji Tian lay on the fighting ring, twitching all over, and blood kept coming out of his mouth. Ji Tian lost and was beaten up like a dead dog. At the scene, everyone's eyes were wide open and they couldn't react for a moment. Ji Tian used to be known as the #1 expert in the Youluo Devil Kingdom. Now that he had refined the light of law, his strength had become even more powerful. However, he had lost to Lu Ming despite his strength. Lu Ming's cultivation level was even lower. It was truly unbelievable that he could defeat Ji Tian even though his cultivation level was even lower and he had yet to refine the light of laws. Lu Ming stepped forward and came to Ji Tian's side. Although Ji Tian was severely injured, he still glared at Lu Ming as if he could not wait to cut Lu Ming into 8 pieces. What are you looking at? I've said it before, there's nothing amazing about the king's body, and the light of law is also nothing amazing. Lu Ming sneered with a hint of disdain. He then kicked Ji Tian in the face, sending him flying off the fighting ring. Lu Ming did not kill Ji Tian. After all, they were in the Youluo demonic kingdom. Ji Tian's father and many experts of the Yu family were present. If Lu Ming killed Ji Tian, the other party would not let him off. The celestial thearch's physical body was running low on energy. Furthermore, his goal was to head to the eternal devil nation. There was no need for him to cause any more trouble. Good. Ah. The master of the Luo family and many masters of the Luo family stood up and laughed. The Luo family had won. In the next 10,000 years, the Luo family would be in charge of the Youluo Devil Kingdom. Previously, when Ji Tian had displayed the light of law, they had thought that the Luo family would lose for sure. They had been in despair and planned to wait another 10,000 years before making a comeback. He had never expected Lu Ming to suddenly explode. He first revealed his powerful strength, then he revealed the kingly way law and defeated Ji Tian in one fell swoop, winning the battle. How could they not be happy and laugh at such an unexpected event? Luo Xin, Wuxia and the others were all smiling. On the other hand, the Yu family members were livid. It was supposed to be a sure-win situation, but in the end, it was lost. It was completely lost at the hands of one person. That kid. Some of the Yu family's experts and Ji Tian's father looked at Lu Ming with cold eyes. It was Lu Ming who had defeated them. What's the background of this kid? I've never heard of him before. Someone unwillingly said. Everyone was silent. Bang. The veins on Princess Yu Ning's jade-white hands were exposed. She had crushed the handle of her seat. She was furious. Lu Ming was originally her guest elder, but he was personally expelled from the Grand Princess residence. Sister Yu Ning, I really have to thank you. At this moment, Luo Xian looked at Yu Ning, and his clear voice resounded throughout the entire area. Many people were dumbfounded, not knowing what Luo Xian meant by this. Luo Xian, shut up. Yu Ning called out. What's wrong? Are you afraid that I'll lose face if I say it? But I have to say it. The corners of Luo Xian's lips curled up slightly. I heard that Lu Ming used to be your guest elder sister Yu Ning. However, he was personally expelled from the Grand Princess residence. That's why he came to me. What? At the scene, all the people who had no idea what was going on were stunned. Lu Ming was originally the eldest princess guest elder, but he was expelled from the princess manor by the eldest princess. It was only then that Lu Ming sought refuge with the little princess. Yuning, this was equivalent to giving up the victory. If Lu Ming was in the Grand Princess residence, there would be no doubt that the Yu family would win this competition. Yuning's expression turned even uglier. Many people from the Yu family also looked upset. There was actually such a thing. Moreover, one heard that Lu Ming offended the Ji family. In order to stabilize the Ji family, Yu expelled Lu Ming from the Grand Princess residence. Perhaps in your eyes, the Ji family or Ji Tian's royal body is more important than Lu Ming. Am one right, Sister Yuning? Luo Xian continued to speak, revealing his 2 tiger teeth, which were filled with slyness. Yuning's expression made her very happy. So that was how it was. Everyone came to a sudden realization. It turned out that Lu Ming had offended the Ji family. In order to stabilize the Ji family, the eldest princess had expelled Lu Ming. After all, the eldest princess had needed Ji Tian's help to win the competition at that time. At that time, in the eldest princess' eyes, Ji Tian's value was probably far above Lu Ming's. But the truth? It was Yu Ning who had personally given the victory to the Luo family. On the other hand, Ji Tian, whom she valued highly, was beaten up like a dead dog by Lu Ming. How ironic was this? The Yu family's experts, Ji Tian's father and Ji Tian's uncle, all had extremely ugly expressions. Sister Yuning, one wonder what you're thinking now? Do you feel any regret? Luo Xian's voice sounded again. Enough. Yuning shouted and stood up abruptly. She cast a cold glance at Lu Ming and soared into the sky. This caused Luo Xian to giggle. She and Yuning had been fighting each other since they were young. Seeing Yuning's expression at this moment, she was extremely happy. Chapter 2037. Chapter 2037, Arriving at the Ancient Devil Nation? Chapter 2037. Chapter 2037 Arriving at the Ancient Devil Nation. The Luo family is the winner of this competition. For the next 10,000 years, the Luo family will be in charge of the Youluo Devil Kingdom. Then the elder from the Youluo Devil Kingdom announced. The Yu family's face was extremely dark and he was extremely unwilling. However, this was a tradition of the Youluo demonic kingdom that had been passed down for countless years. Even if he didn't dare to do so, he would have to hand over the throne. Unless the Yu family's strength could crush the other forces in the Youluo demonic kingdom, he could not break the tradition. However, it was obvious that the Yu family could not do it. In the end, he could only hand over the scepter that represented the king. Lu Ming had nothing to do next. He sat in the stands and watched indifferently. The next step was for the head of the Luo clan to take over the scepter. After a series of ceremonies, he began to take control of the Youluo Devil Kingdom. After the ceremony ended, it was time for the grand banquet. By the time everything was over, it would be the next day. A few days later, Luo Xian brought a pile of treasures and said that they were Lu Ming's rewards. Lu Ming accepted them without any hesitation. The following days were peaceful again. Lu Ming stayed in the little princess residence and cultivated quietly. However, Luo Xian would often look for Lu Ming in the name of sparring. Of course, Luo Xian would return in defeat every time. Time flew by and a month and a half passed. On this day, Luo Xian found Lu Ming. They were going to head to the Eternal Devil Nation. In half a month's time, the king of the ancient Devil Nation would be holding a huge banquet to celebrate his survival of the calamity of heaven and earth, granting him another 300,000 years to live. At that time, all the Devil Nations that were affiliated with the Eternal Devil Nation would have to send people over to offer their congratulations. The Youluo Devil Kingdom was a part of the Eternal Devil Kingdom. We're finally going to the Eternal Devil Nation, Lu Ming muttered. In this way he was one step closer to the ancient demonic coffin. Yu Ning and the rest have already left for the Eternal Devil Nation a few days ago, Rahu said. Lu Ming nodded and followed Luo Xian to a teleportation array. The head of the Luo family personally led the team. There were hundreds of people in the team, including some young geniuses who stepped into the teleportation array. First, they arrived at the citadel outside the capital of the Eternal Devil Nation. Then they flew towards the capital. The ancient Devil Nation was one of the 2 super devil nations in the land of 10,000 devils. It was a true giant and its capital was exceptionally majestic. It was not inferior to the Celestial Emperor City in the Yuan Mountain. The land of 10,000 devils had 2 super devil nations and 10 high-ranked devil nations. Naturally, they were divided into two camps, two super devil nations. They were enemies with each other, and each super devil nation ruled a large number of low-rank and middle-rank devil nations. There were also 5 high-rank devil nations under their control. As one of the 5 high-ranked devil nations under the Eternal Devil Nation, the Youluo Devil Kingdom was naturally highly valued. The moment they arrived, there were people who received them and arranged their accommodations. In the blink of an eye, they had been in the capital of the Eternal Devil Nation for 3 days. Lu Ming, the young prince of the Ashen Demon King's residence, is hosting a banquet today to invite the paragons of various countries. Shall we go and take a look? Luo Xian found Lu Ming and said, "The young prince of the Azure Demon King's residence?" Lu Ming was slightly stunned. The Eternal Devil Nation is one of the 2 great devil nations in the land of 10,000 devils. It rules over countless small nations, and many of them are inextricably linked to the powerful families of the Eternal Devil Nation. The Ashen Demon King's residence is the most powerful in the entire Eternal Devil Nation. Our Luo family has a pretty good relationship with them. The young lord of the Ashen Demon clan is only inviting the geniuses of the other nations to his banquet to get closer to them, Luo Xian explained. Lu Ming nodded. As long as there were benefits in any place, there would naturally be a relationship of benefits. Furthermore, every time the king of the ancient devil nation overcame a calamity, he would hold a banquet to allow the younger generation of each nation to compete with each other. Those who perform well would be heavily rewarded. Therefore, it's only natural for the heavens' favorites of each nation to meet up and understand each other's strength. Luo Xian continued. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The king of the Eternal Demon Nation would have the geniuses of the other nations compete with each other. This was a good opportunity for Lu Ming. If he performed well and caught the king's attention, he might be one step closer to borrowing the eternal demonic coffin. Alright, let's go and take a look. Lu Ming nodded. Immediately, Lu Ming and Luo Xian met up with the other supreme talents of the Youluo demonic kingdom, such as Wuxia and the others, and headed for the Grey Demon King's residence. Of course, Yuning Jitian and the others were not with them. Yuning Jitian and the others had arrived at the capital of the Eternal Devil Nation before them. They had different networks of connections. Soon they arrived at a vast mansion. Someone received them and led them to a wide courtyard. There were many tables and chairs in the courtyard. At this moment, many people had already arrived. They were all people of the younger generation. Greetings, Princess Luo Xian. When Luo Xian arrived, many young men bowed to him. The Youluo Devil Kingdom was a high-ranked devil kingdom and was one of the best among the 5 high-ranked devil kingdoms under the Eternal Devil Kingdom. These young men were all from medium-rank and low-rank devil kingdoms. Their status was far inferior to Luo Xian's, so they naturally had to pay their respects when they saw him. Luo Xian nodded with a smile before taking a seat at the table above. Lu Ming, sit here. Princess Luo Xian smiled as she pointed to a stool beside her. Lu Ming did not stand on ceremony and sat down beside Luo Xian. Wu Shi and the rest sat behind Luo Xian and Lu Ming. Many young men sized Lu Ming up with curious eyes. Who was this person? He was actually sitting next to Princess Luo Xian. Haha, Luo Xian, long time no see. With a hearty laugh, a purple-robed young man strode over. This person was quite handsome and had an extraordinary bearing. Behind him there were a few youths. Greetings, young prince. Seeing this young man, all the young men hurriedly stood up and saluted. Lu Ming and Luo Xian also stood up and cupped their hands. This person was the young prince of the Azure Demon King's residence. The Azure Demon King was an extremely fearsome existence. It was said that he was of the same generation as the king of the Eternal Devil Nation. The relationship between the two of them was extraordinary. Hence, the Azure Demon King was extremely influential in the Eternal Demon Nation. As the grandson of the Azure Demon King, the young prince's status was noble. He was also a terrifying heaven's favorite. No need to be so polite, please sit. The young prince waved his hand and turned to look at Luo Xian. He smiled and said, Princess Luo Xian, it's been a few years since we last met, and your cultivation base has become even more profound. If this continues, I'm afraid that I won't be your match in a few years. You're too kind, young lord. Everyone in the Eternal Devil Nation knows of your talent. How can Luo Xian be a match for you? Luo Xian replied humbly. The young prince's gaze shifted to Lu Ming. He was naturally curious about the fact that he could sit together with Luo Xian. However, when he took a closer look at Lu Ming, his face suddenly darkened. Lu Ming frowned slightly. Just now he had sensed a murderous intent from the other party. Lu Ming was puzzled. It was their first time meeting each other. Why would the other party want to kill him? Chapter 2038. Want to kill Lu Ming? Chapter 2038. Want to kill Lu Ming? His name is Lu Ming. Luo Xian introduced Lu Ming. Princess Luo Xian, what is your relationship with this man? The young prince asked. He's my guest. Young prince, do you know Lu Ming? Luo Xian also felt that something was amiss and asked. So he's just a guest. Princess Luo Xian, can you hand him over to me? The young prince's eyes flickered, and the killing intent in them grew even stronger. Young prince, he is my guest, so I have to be responsible for him. Why do you want me to hand him over to you? Luo Xian's brows furrowed even more as he asked. The other young men seemed to have sensed that something was amiss as well, and they held their breaths, not even daring to take a deep breath. Kill? The young prince spoke coldly, his killing intent bursting forth without restraint. This person must die. Young prince, is there a misunderstanding here? Luo Yi said. He secretly sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming and asked, Lu Ming, when did you offend Song Yan? Song Yan was the name of the young prince. It's my first time seeing him. Lu Ming frowned and sent a voice transmission to Princess Luo Xian. He was also baffled. He had never seen Song Yan before, so he really didn't understand why Song Yan wanted to kill him as soon as he saw him. Misunderstanding? Any direct descendant of the Azure Demon King's palace will have a mark on their body. As long as they are killed, this mark will attach itself to the murderer. One can feel the mark of my Azure Demon King's palace on his body. Is this a misunderstanding? Song Yan coldly said. Everyone's heart moved as they understood. Lu Ming had killed a direct descendant of the Ashen Demon King's residence. The other party's mark was attached to his body and Song Yan could sense it. It was no wonder that Song Yan wanted to kill Lu Ming the moment he saw him. Lu Ming raised his eyebrows. He suddenly recalled that not long after he came to the land of infinite demons, he was cultivating somewhere when a group of people went to snatch the demon origin fruit and he killed them in the end. One of them was a young man who had shouted out that he was from the Eternal Devil Nation. Could that man be a direct descendant of the Azure Demon King's residence? This was too much of a coincidence. Moreover, he had seen the mark of the Azure Demon King's residence before. The Thousand Kill Manor was a terrifying assassin organization. As long as one killed a member of the Thousand Kill Manor, there would be a killing mark attached to one's body. Back then, Lu Ming had to ask the Palace Master of Phoenix Palace to remove it. The mark of the Azure Demon King's residence was very similar to the mark of the Thousand Kills residence. Luo Xian frowned and said, Young prince, is there a mistake? Definitely not. A few months ago, one of my younger cousins was killed while training outside. It should be this person who killed him. Luo Xian, this person is only a guest elder. You should stay out of this matter. Song Yan said, then waved his hand. Bus. Behind Song Yan, a young man rushed out, and a sword light bloomed as he charged towards Lu Ming. The sword light was cold. This was a sword to cut the throat. Judge. Luo Xian said softly as he struck out with the power of judgment, crushing his opponent's sword light. Princess Luo Xian, you want to protect this man? Do you think it's worth it to fall out with my Azure Demon King's residence for a guest elder? Song Yan's face sank, revealing a threatening tone. A few months ago I did kill someone. However, that person wanted to fight for a treasure and attacked me without any explanation. How could one not retaliate? At this moment Lu Ming spoke. I see. Young prince, it's normal for anyone to be killed in the land of myriad demons when they're out training and fighting for treasures. In the land of infinite demons, strength speaks for itself. If one's strength is inferior to others, taking revenge now would be a joke. Luo Xian said coldly, not backing down an inch. In the land of 10,000 demons, there was constant killing. Martial arts were respected, and the weak were prey to the strong. No matter who it was better to be prepared to be killed when training outside. This was the rule of the land of myriad demons. Humph, my cousin has several Emperor-to-be followers. How many Emperor-to-be can he deal with? He probably used some despicable means to harm my cousin. How about this, let him fight with me. If he can withstand 10 moves from me and not lose, I will acknowledge his strength. Song Yan coldly said. In his opinion, Lu Ming was merely a guest master of Luo Xian. How strong could he be? Behind Song Yan, some of the young men sneered. Song Yan was one of the top geniuses in the Eternal Demon Nation. His battle prowess was absolutely terrifying. Not only did he have a king body, but his cultivation had also reached the absolute saint perfection long ago. How could Lu Ming withstand 10 moves from Song Yan? He would probably be killed by Tsang Yan in one exchange. This was Tsang Yan's goal. As long as he made a move against Lu Ming, he would be able to kill Lu Ming with a legitimate reason. Luo Xian's eyes flickered. Although Tsang Yan was powerful, Lu Ming could even defeat Ji Tian. He was definitely not weaker than Tsang Yan. Wouldn't it be easy for him to withstand 10 moves? Alright, one agree. Lu Ming stepped out and said indifferently. He actually dared to agree. It seems that this kid doesn't know how powerful Tsang Yan is. Many people had the same thought. However, some people also had the mentality of watching a show. This kid is really looking for death. Some of the youths behind Tsang Yan revealed playful smiles. Tsang Yan's eyes flashed with a cold light. Princess Luo Xian, since he has already agreed, please do not interfere. I won't interfere. One hope that young prince will keep his word. After saying that, Luo Xian returned to the table. You mean what you say? This little girl, could it be that she thinks that this kid can block 10 of my moves? Where is your confidence coming from? The corners of the young prince's lips curled into a cold smile. Then he turned to Lu Ming, his killing intent even colder. Anyone who dared to kill the people of the Azure Demon King's residence would definitely die. He wanted to kill the chicken to warn the monkeys in front of all the people from the small countries today and make them fear him even more. Let's fight in the sky. Lu Ming said. I don't need to go to the sky to deal with you. One move is enough. Tsang Yan sneered before pointing out a finger. Buzz. This finger was like a long spear, piercing through the void and letting out a terrifying whistling sound. This finger was highly condensed. However, Lu Ming did not even look at it. He pointed his finger and runes shone on it. Bang. The two fingers collided with a loud boom. The terrifying force overturned many tables and chairs around them. Many people retreated in fear to avoid the scattered force. Tsang Yan's figure was pushed back 2 steps and was actually at a disadvantage. Array Dao laws, you have a king physique. Tsang Yan roared. So it's the law of penetration. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He was very familiar with this law. Luo Pokong of the Daoyuo Heaven sect also controlled this law, but he had already been killed by Lu Ming. Like one said, we're going to fight in the sky. Lu Ming spoke indifferently, causing Tsang Yan's face to turn extremely dark and his killing intent to turn incomparably cold. Just now, he was full of confidence and said that he could kill Lu Ming in one move without having to fly high up in the air. However, the truth was a slap to his face. Let's go up and fight. Tsang Yan said coldly. Like a divine spear he shot into the sky. Lu Ming also stepped into the air. Chapter 2039. You've lost? Chapter 2039. You've lost, kill. As soon as he soared into the sky, Tsang Yan launched an attack at Lu Ming. His fingers were like a spear, constantly pointing out. With the support of the law of penetration, the power was terrifyingly strong and could penetrate everything. The spear's gleam was aimed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled and did the same. Countless runes filled the air and condensed into lightning birds. They pounced at the spear lights at an astonishing speed and blocked them. So strong, so this person also has a king physique. No wonder she can sit side by side with Princess Luo Xian. Some of the heavens' favorites from the smaller countries exclaimed. 2 moves. Lu Ming said indifferently in the sky. Kill. Tsang Yan used his third attack, and his cultivation in the absolute Saint Great Circle was unleashed. An even more terrifying finger force was aimed at Lu Ming. Tsang Yan's attack method was very similar to Luo Pokong's, but the magical technique they used was different. However, Tsang Yan's battle strength was much stronger than Luo Pokong's. A terrifying force whizzed towards Lu Ming, but it was still blocked by Lu Ming's finger. 3 moves. Lu Ming continued to speak calmly and nonchalantly. Die. Tsang Yan's eyes became colder and colder. A ring of light emerged from his body and surrounded him. The light of law. Many people took in a deep breath. Tsang Yan's battle prowess was indeed terrifying. As the top genius of the Eternal Devil Nation, he was able to suppress the other king physiques. It was said that in the entire Eternal Demon Nation, apart from the Son of God, no one was a match for Tsang Yan. Kill. A spear appeared in Tsang Yan's hand, and when combined with the light of law, its power reached a shocking level. 3 scrolls in 1. Lu Ming pointed a finger, and a true dragon roared and pounced at Tsang Yan. This true dragon contained the Annihilation Scroll, Illusionary Spirit Scroll, and Sealing Scroll. The 3 scrolls were combined into one. Boom. With a loud boom, the spear in Tsang Yan's hand trembled as his body trembled violently. He was forced to retreat by a terrifying force. Song Yin was actually at a disadvantage. Below, other than the people from the Youluo Devil Kingdom, everyone else was dumbfounded. Some of them even rubbed their eyes, thinking that they were seeing things. Song Yin suppressed the other king physiques and stood at the peak. As long as the Son of Heaven didn't appear, he was almost invincible. But now he was at a disadvantage because of Lu Ming. Who was this Lu Ming? How could a random person be so terrifying? They were speechless. Just this bit of strength? You wanted to defeat me in 10 moves? What a joke, now it's my turn. Let's go, Lu Ming said indifferently as he stepped forward. Countless runes soared into the sky and turned into 9 dragons. This time it wasn't a real dragon but 9 dragons. The 9 dragons flew towards Song Yin. To be honest, Song Yin was very strong, even stronger than Ji Tian. Song Yin was almost at the peak of the absolute saint realm, and his nomological laws had reached 99%. He was only 1 step away from the Emperor to be realm. However, compared to Lu Ming, even if Lu Ming did not use the law of chaos, he was still lacking. As the 9 dragons pounced out, Song Yan's expression changed drastically, and he stabbed out with his spear with all his strength. The 9 dragons roared and continuously struck out with their claws, destroying Song Yan's attack. The terrifying destructive power and countless symbols surged towards Song Yan. Song Yan's figure madly retreated, continuously retreating 10,000 meters before regaining his balance. His body trembled and he spat out a mouthful of blood. You've lost, Lu Ming said indifferently. His voice was not loud, but it was like a heavy blow that hit Song Yan, causing him to spit out another mouthful of blood. Lu Ming's short 3 words were filled with sarcasm. Just a moment ago, Song Yan was still insufferably arrogant and said that he would defeat Lu Ming in 10 moves. In fact, he had only casually mentioned 10 moves. In his opinion, 1 move would be enough to defeat or even kill Lu Ming. But now, in less than 10 moves, he was the one who lost to Lu Ming. Kill? Song Yan roared. Boom. Boom. From the depths of the palace, 2 figures rushed out. Their terrifying auras bloomed, causing everyone's faces to change. They were 2 martial sovereigns. Song Yan was going to send out a martial supreme to kill Lu Ming. Song Yan, you're going back on your word. Luo Xian soared into the sky and arrived in front of Lu Ming, glaring at Song Yan. Move! He shouted. Song Yan's expression was a little sinister. Today, in front of so many people from small countries, Lu Ming had made him lose face. He wanted to cut Lu Ming into 8 pieces. As for all of this, he had asked for it but he would not consider it. It was all Lu Ming's fault. How could it be his? Song Yan, you can't win, so you send out a martial sovereign. If this matter gets out, I'm afraid it'll be a disgrace to your reputation. Even the reputation of the Azure Demon King Palace will be affected. Luo Xian stood firmly in front of Lu Ming and continued, moreover, even if you must make a move today, you'll have to do it over my dead body. Lu Ming is my guest elder. I can't just watch him be killed. Song Yan's expression became even uglier. Luo Xian's words had indeed caused him to be apprehensive. One was his reputation and the other was Luo Xian's identity. Luo Xian was the princess of the Youluo Devil Kingdom. The Youluo Devil Kingdom was not an ordinary small kingdom. It was one of the top 5 upper-class devil kingdoms under the Eternal Devil Kingdom. As such, he was very apprehensive. Song Yan hesitated. Lu Ming, let's go. Luo Xian sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming, then turned around and left the Azure Demon King's residence. Wu Shi and the others followed him quickly. Song Yan's expression changed a few times, but in the end he didn't give the order to attack. Lu Ming and the rest left the Ashen Demon King's residence and returned to their residence. I didn't expect that person to be from the Vicissitude House. Lu Ming was also quite speechless. Initially, he had wanted to get to know the imperial family of the Eternal Devil Nation through Luo Xian's recommendation. Who would have thought that he would offend the young prince of the Azure Demon King's residence the moment he arrived? It seems like I can only wait for the banquet of the king of the Eternal Devil Nation. They'll have to find an opportunity when all the geniuses are sparring. Lu Ming thought in his heart. Lu Ming, there's no need to think too much. The Ashen Demon Palace isn't the only paragon of the imperial family in the Eternal Demon Nation. I'll introduce you to the others in a few days. Luo Xian comforted Lu Ming. Many thanks. Lu Ming looked at Luo Xian and smiled. Luo Xian's unwavering determination to stand in front of him had touched him. Luo Xian was a genuine person and he was much stronger than Yu Ning. Over the next few days, Luo Xian introduced a few royal family members to Lu Ming. However, although they were quite talented, they were still lacking compared to Song Yan. There were a few times when Lu Ming tried to find out more about the eternal demonic coffin. However, the other party did not know much about it. He only knew that it was the treasure of the eternal demonic nation and that only the king could control it. Lu Ming frowned. He was troubled. The ancient demon coffin was so important that only the king could control it. Could he really borrow it for a month? The king of the ancient devil nation was an emperor. Such a person was high and mighty, even higher than the average great emperor. Why would he care about him? Chapter 2040, The Ancient Emperor. Chapter 2040, The Ancient Emperor. More than 10 days later, the monarch's banquet officially began. In the center of the capital of the ancient devil nation, a majestic palace suddenly appeared in the sky. The palace shone brightly and could be seen from far away. The palace was 9 stories high, like a divine palace. There was a jade staircase in each of the 4 directions of the palace. It extended from the top of the palace to the bottom. The guests who went to congratulate him went up the jade stairs from the 4-sided palace to the 9th level of the palace. Lu Ming and the people from the Youluo demonic kingdom went up the jade stairs on the east side. What a magnificent palace! Lu Ming was secretly shocked. This 9-story palace was too huge. It was 100,000 feet tall and pierced through the depths of the sky. Even this jade staircase was huge. A person standing on it was like an ant. In this direction, people kept coming up the jade stairs to congratulate him. The ancient devil nation was one of the 2 super devil nations in the land of 10,000 devils. Almost half of the devil nations, big and small, would come to congratulate them. Naturally, the number of people would be shocking. Lu Ming and the group walked up the jade stairs and spent half an hour before they reached the highest point and arrived at the 9th level of the hall. The 9th level of the palace was open air and extremely wide. There were all kinds of sacred medicines and strange flowers planted everywhere, and the fragrance assailed the nose. This area was already filled with tables and chairs. The Youluo Devil Kingdom was one of the 5 great exalted kingdoms. As soon as they arrived, someone led them to a higher position. The location of this area was also very particular. The height was different and the levels were higher. The lowest terrain was where the people of the lower-class devil nations sat. The second-ranked devil nations were the middle-ranked devil nations. Above them were the 5 high-ranked devil nations. At the very top were the experts of the ancient devil nation and the nobles. Brother Luo. Brother Luo. When Lu Ming and the rest arrived, there were already some people there. They greeted the Luo family master one after another. These people were the kings of other high-ranked devil nations, and they all had prominent identities. Now that the Luo family was in control of the Youluo Devil Kingdom, they naturally greeted the head of the Luo family. At the side, the Yu family's master snorted coldly. De led Yu Ning Jitian and the others to find a random seat. Following that, more and more people arrived and the vast space was almost full. The country ruler has arrived. A voice resounded through the entire place and everyone quieted down. The king of this place was naturally the king of the eternal devil nation. A group of people came from the sky and landed on the highest point. The person in the lead was a burly old man in a purple and gold robe. He had a smile on his face and although he did not reveal any aura, he had a supreme majesty. We pay our respects to the ancient emperor. Everyone bowed in respect. The king of every generation of the ancient devil nation was addressed as the ancient emperor. Everyone please sit. The ancient emperor waved his hand and everyone took their seats. Lu Ming's gaze swept across the crowd and noticed that there were many people around the ancient emperor. Some were older while others were from the younger generation. Many of them had powerful auras and were extremely terrifying. There was no doubt that there was a great emperor among them. There was definitely more than one great emperor in the ancient devil nation. Song Yan. Lu Ming saw Song Yan in the crowd behind the ancient emperor. At this moment, Song Yan's eyes were also on the Youluo demonic kingdom. When he saw Lu Ming, a cold killing intent flashed in his eyes. Yen'er, the person you're talking about is that kid? Beside the ancient emperor, there was a skinny old man with white hair who was transmitting a message to Song Yan. This person was Song Yan's grandfather, the Song Demon King. Grandpa, it's this person. Song Yan nodded. Yes, I understand. The hidden demon king nodded and didn't continue speaking. His face was calm and no one could tell what he was thinking. The Tianyu Devil Kingdom congratulates the ancient emperor on surviving the Great Tribulation and obtaining eternal life. At this moment, the monarch of the Heaven Devil Kingdom stood up to congratulate the ancient emperor and presented him with gifts. The Youluo Demonic Kingdom congratulates the ancient emperor for overcoming his tribulation. You can look forward to becoming the Heavenly Emperor. The master of the Luo family also sent a congratulatory gift. Following that, the rulers of the devil nations came forward to offer their congratulations and congratulatory gifts. Starting from the 5 high-ranked devil nations, it was the turn of the low-ranked devil nations. Thank you for coming today, please sit. The ancient emperor's voice rang out. Following that, the maidservants brought out all sorts of fine wine and delicacies. After that, a peerlessly enchanting witch came forward to perform the demonic dance, and the atmosphere of the scene became warm. Great Emperor, there are so many geniuses in this world. Why don't we let the younger generation have a friendly match? Zhao Feng suggested. Someone suggested. This was something that would happen every time the ancient emperor transcended a tribulation of the heavens and earth. Some people were looking forward to it. Haha, one also want to see how outstanding the geniuses of this generation are. One heard that there's more than one son of God in this generation, and there are even more king bodies. The ancient emperor laughed. That's right. This generation is indeed full of geniuses, more than any previous era. The Azure Demon King said. Oh, if that's the case, he'll change the rewards this time as well. The top 3 can make a request to me and I'll try my best to fulfill it if it's something that only one can do. The top 10 can also receive a reward. The ancient emperor's voice reverberated in all directions. Many people's eyes were burning with desire. The top 3 could make a request to the great emperor. This was too tempting. Furthermore, the rewards that the top 10 would receive would definitely not be small. The reward this time was also better than before. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. The top 3 could make a request of the ancient emperor. If he were to get into the top 3, he would be able to borrow the eternal demonic coffin from the ancient emperor. Since the emperor had said it himself, he probably wouldn't reject it. Moreover, it was only for a month. I must enter the top 3. Lu Ming's fists were clenched tightly. Even though he did not know how strong the Son of Heaven from the eternal devil nation was, Lu Ming believed that if he were to go all out, he should be able to get into the top 3. Alright then, well, let the Azure Demon King take charge of this round of sparring. The ancient emperor laughed. He didn't need to manage such a matter personally. He could leave it to others. Thank you, Your Majesty. The Azure Demon King stood up and took a step forward, arriving in the air outside the palace. With a wave of his hand, a platform floated up. Then the platform expanded rapidly, turning into a fighting ring with a length and width of 100 miles. The height of the fighting ring was slightly lower than the palace. Sitting on it, one could see the situation on the fighting ring very well. Young people who wish to participate in the sparring can register first and leave behind your name. The Azure Demon King said before calling for a few people to register the information. Bus. And NBSP whoosh. Immediately, young people flew forward one by one to register. There were too many people. In an instant, hundreds of people went up. Who do you guys think will enter the top 3 this time? That goes without saying. The 2 sons of God will definitely enter the top 3. That's right. 2 of the top 3 are the sons of God, so there will definitely be a spot for them. The key is who will be able to obtain the other spot. Song Yen and Lu Su are both very likely? Many people in the surroundings began to discuss. Chapter 2041. Chapter 2041. Cannot participate. Chapter 2041. Chapter 2041 cannot participate. The registration process was very quick. All they had to do was register their names, so the turn was also very quick. Soon after, Lu Ming, Luo Xian, and the others also went to register. Stop. Suddenly, a cold voice was heard. A figure stood in front of Lu Ming. Gang Yan. Lu Ming frowned. What was Song Yen trying to do? Lu Ming, you're not qualified to take part in the competition. You may leave. Song Yen looked down at Lu Ming from above, his eyes cold and filled with killing intent. Many people looked over with curiosity, including the experts of the older generation in their seats. Song Yen, what do you mean? If he's not qualified, then you're not qualified either. Don't forget that you were defeated by Lu Ming a few days ago. Luo Xian took a step forward, glaring at Song Yen as she shouted. What? Song Yen was defeated? Really? This is the young man? He looks so ordinary. Many people were shocked. They looked at Lu Ming in bewilderment. In the eternal devil nation and the many other devil nations under its rule, other than the Son of God, Song Yen was the most powerful heaven's favorite, and almost no one could defeat him. This person had actually defeated Song Yen? What was his background? After all, the heaven's favorites that Song Yen had invited were only a small portion of the people present. Many of them did not know about the battle between Lu Ming and Song Yan. The paragons who were present at that time were afraid of offending Song Yan, so they did not say anything after they returned. Therefore, not many people knew that Lu Ming had defeated Song Yan. When Luo Xian said that, everyone was naturally shocked. Many people even doubted whether what Luo Xian said was true. Even many of the older generation looked at Lu Ming with curiosity. To be able to defeat Song Yan was no small matter. Such a heaven's favorite would definitely have great achievements in the future and was naturally worth paying attention to. Song Yan's face turned extremely gloomy. Luo Xian didn't give him any face at all, directly revealing his defeat in public. During this period of time, I've sent people to investigate this person, but there are no clues at all. We can't find out this person's origin at all. This person's origin is unknown, so he doesn't have the qualifications to participate in the competition. Song Yan shouted. The purpose of this competition is to celebrate the great emperor's victory. As for what kind of background it has, what does it matter? Luo Xian argued. His background is unknown. Who knows what he is planning? Song Yan sneered. Great Emperor, how should we do this? The Ashen Demon King asked the ancient emperor for instructions. I've already handed this matter over to you. You have full authority to handle it. The ancient emperor waved his hands. He wasn't interested in the conflict between the younger generation. Standing at his height, he only had the attitude of watching a show. He would only pay attention to the Son of God. Yes, Great Emperor. The Ashen Demon King saluted, and with a flash, he appeared above Lu Ming and the others. What's going on? The Azure Demon King spoke in an imposing manner. It's like this. Luo Xian spoke first and explained the situation. The Great Emperor has just passed a great tribulation. It's a grand event that only happens once every 300,000 years. There can't be any mistakes. You may leave. The Azure Demon King looked at Lu Ming and waved his hand. Lu Ming frowned and Luo Xian's expression turned ugly. The Azure Demon King was not allowing Lu Ming to participate in the competition. Song Yan sneered. Not far away, Yuning Jitian and the others also revealed gloating smiles. Your Highness, I did defeat Song Yan, but you can't protect him because of this. Lu Ming said. His voice was so loud that it spread in all directions. His meaning was obvious. Song Demon King was deliberately making things difficult for him because of Song Yan. Impudent. What's with your attitude? How dare you doubt this king? The Ashen Demon King bellowed, his body exuding a terrifying aura as he glared at Lu Ming. Your background is unknown. I'm already being kind by not taking you down on the spot. If you still dare to speak, don't blame this king for being impolite if you don't leave. The scene was silent. No one said anything. The head of the Luo family felt that the Azure Demon King had gone too far. The Azure Demon King had great authority in the Eternal Devil Nation, and there was no need for him to offend the Azure Demon King over this matter. It was just that he couldn't participate in the competition. In his opinion, it was a small matter. However, this was a big deal for Lu Ming as it concerned the ancient demonic coffin. However, it was obvious that the Azure Demon King would not give him the chance. The ancient emperor looked on indifferently. Even though he also felt that the Azure Demon King had gone overboard, he wouldn't say anything more since he had already let the Azure Demon King take charge. Still not retreating. The Azure Demon King shouted again. His terrifying aura pressed down on Lu Ming like a tidal wave, forcing him to retreat. He was under immense pressure. Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly and was extremely unwilling. But in the end, Lu Ming still retreated. The strength of the Azure Demon King was shockingly strong. Even if he wasn't a great emperor, he was at least a peak true emperor expert. He couldn't do it by force, so he had to think of another way. Song Yan's mouth curled into a sneer. He did not allow Lu Ming to participate for two reasons. One was to take revenge on Lu Ming. The second reason was that Lu Ming's abilities were too shocking. If Lu Ming were to participate, he would have no hope of getting into the top 3. The registration continued. It took half a day for the registration to end. After the registration ended, the competition began. The 2-on-1 matches were very intense. However, all of this had nothing to do with Lu Ming. He sat in his seat and drank while thinking about his next step. He was thinking about how he could borrow the eternal demonic coffin for a month. It was normal for martial arts powerhouses, or even those who had reached the sage realm, to sit there for a few months. Therefore, the competition went on one after another. In a flash, a few days had passed. After a few days of competition, most of the people had been eliminated, leaving only a few dozen people. These dozens of people were all extremely talented, and many of them even had king physiques. The land of infinite demons is indeed a place to fight. The overall standard of the geniuses is even stronger than the Yuan mountain. Towards the end, Lu Ming also focused his attention and observed. He realized that the number of heaven's favorites in the land of infinite demons was about the same as in the distant mountains, but the quality was higher. For example, the average cultivation of the land of infinite demons was higher than the Yuan mountain. Many of them had reached absolute saint cultivation. Some of them had even reached the peak or perfected absolute saint. For example, Luo Xian had a king body in the great circle of the absolute saint stage, but she didn't have any advantage over these geniuses. There were at least 20 to 30 people who weren't weaker than her. This wasn't even all of the geniuses in the land of infinite demons. Could only be half. There were so many powerful geniuses. It was as if they had reached the great circle of the absolute saint realm. It was shocking. However, in the past few years, after the cultivation and competition in the Yuan Mountain Sacred Academy, as well as the battle with the evil god tribe, many people's cultivation bases had risen. Many powerful king bodies had reached the peak of absolute saint or perfected absolute saint. Chapter 2042, The People from the Immortal Demon Nation. Chapter 2042, The People from the Immortal Demon Nation. The competition continued. Two young men caught Lu Ming's attention. This was because these two people were exceptionally powerful. They were the sons of God. Child of the void, child of death. Lu Ming muttered. One of the two sons of God controlled the void law, which was also one of the 10 ultimate laws. It was extremely terrifying and could turn everything into nothingness. The other person actually mastered the law of death just like the death blade. Today was indeed a golden age. In the past, it was already amazing for a son of God to appear. But now they were appearing frequently, and different people had successfully cultivated the same law. This was only the Yuan Mountain and the land of myriad demons. One had to know that there were 10 lands in the primordial realm. One could imagine that there would be more than one child of God. It was easy to imagine that if the death blade met this person, a great battle would probably break out. Apart from these two, Song Yan's strength was indeed very strong. He was undefeatable and was a popular candidate for the top 3. After a few days of intense battles, all the rankings were out. Luo Xian and Yu Ning were ranked at the 22nd place. They had not even made it into the top 20. As for Ji Tian, he had cultivated the light of law and was indeed powerful. He overcame all obstacles and charged into the top 10, ranking 6th. After all, there were very few people who could cultivate the light of laws in a king's body. As for Song Yan, after a series of battles, he had finally defeated his competitor and obtained 3rd place. The first and second were naturally the two sons of God. The two sons of God had reached the perfected absolute saint realm and were very close to the emperor to be realm. They had also cultivated the light of laws and were extremely powerful. They were high above everyone else and were invincible. The most exciting part was the battle between the two sons of God, which pushed the atmosphere to the peak. The void law and the death law collided. Both laws were extremely overbearing, and their cultivation levels were similar. It took 1,000 moves before the victor was decided. In the end, the son of death won by a hair's breadth due to his mastery of nomological laws and his close proximity to an emperor to be. Amazing, amazing. Is this the battle power of the son of heaven? It's really terrifying. Luo Xian blinked his large eyes in amazement. The Son of God is indeed powerful. Below the martial emperor realm, ordinary warriors are no match for the Son of God in a battle of the same level. It's useless no matter how strong their combat strength is. Yu Ning also sighed and glanced at Lu Ming. What he meant was that if he wasn't the Son of God, no matter how strong he was, he wouldn't be a match for the Son of God. Lu Ming smiled faintly, sighing in his heart. If he were to make a move, he would definitely be able to enter the top 3. Although the two sons of God were strong, he was not afraid. What a pity. Lu Ming sighed. He picked up a glass of wine and finished it in one gulp. Yu Ning thought that Lu Ming had realized the difference between him and the Son of God and thus had such an expression. He sneered immediately. The top 3 can make a request to me. You may step forward. The voice of the ancient emperor rang out. The two sons of God and Song Yan stepped forward. At this moment, Song Yan was extremely excited. He had to make a request to the great emperor and make use of it to its greatest value. Do you want an ancient scripture, or do you want to take the opportunity to become the great emperor's disciple? Song Yan's mind spun rapidly as he trembled with excitement. Haha, it's so lively today. 111 join in the fun. At this moment, a loud laugh reverberated through the sky. Boom, boom, boom. Then the sky rumbled as if a giant creature was about to break through the void. Many experts' faces darkened as they looked into the distance. Selah. The next moment, the void cracked open, and a huge warship sailed out of the dark void. The battleship was 10,000 meters long and completely black, giving off a terrifying pressure. "This is the undying battleship of the undying demon nation," someone exclaimed. Many people were shocked. The undying demon nation was another super demon nation that was on par with the eternal demon nation. Two tigers couldn't live on the same mountain. The two super devil nations were naturally hostile to each other and would often have conflicts and wars. The immortal battleships of the immortal demon nation broke the void and came here. A group of people stood on the deck of the warship. The leader was a middle-aged man in a long robe. He had an overbearing aura. "If you're not dead, what are you doing here?" The ancient emperor looked at the burly man and said coldly. Many people were shocked. In the immortal demon nation, there was only one person who dared to use this title, and that was the ruler of the immortal demon nation, the immortal emperor. Just like the ancient emperor, every king of the undying demon nation used the title of undying emperor. "Ah, Ancient One, it wasn't easy for you to overcome your tribulation. Naturally, I'm here to congratulate you." "What? Am I not welcome here?" The undying emperor laughed. "You're a guest, come down and sit," the ancient emperor said before ordering his men to prepare a seat. "Let's go down," the undying emperor said. Many people followed him and jumped off the warship. There were experts from both the older and younger generations following him. Undying Emperor looked around, especially at the young Heaven's favorites. At this moment, the top 30 Heaven's favorites were still standing in the fighting ring. The top 3 would be able to make a request to the ancient emperor. The top 10 would be handsomely rewarded, and the top 30 would be handsomely rewarded as well. That was why they had been waiting there. The eternal devil nation is indeed full of geniuses. The geniuses are as common as the clouds. Even the good-for-nothing brats of my immortal devil nation are tempted by this. They'd like to have a spar with the geniuses of the eternal devil nation. What do you think, Ancient One? The undying emperor laughed. It's here. Many people were moved. The people of the immortal demon nation didn't come with good intentions. They didn't come just to congratulate the ancient emperor. Alright, I have the same idea. I'll be good for them if the two geniuses spar, the ancient emperor said. He couldn't reject them. Otherwise, if word got out, everyone would think that the eternal demon nation was afraid of the immortal demon nation. Good, haha. The undying emperor laughed and looked at the young men behind him. Have some fun with the geniuses of the eternal devil nation. Remember, don't embarrass your emperor. Yes, great emperor. Those heaven's favorites cupped their fists. He'll go first. Following that, a young man from the undying demon kingdom leaped onto the battle stage. With a cold and arrogant look on his face, he scanned the geniuses from the eternal demon kingdom and said, "My name is Yuan Tua and one have a king physique. I have just broken through to the perfection of the absolute saint realm. Who wants to fight me?" The geniuses of the eternal devil nation fell silent. Many of them looked around, but no one dared to step forward. The undying demon nation obviously didn't come with good intentions. The Heaven's Pride experts they sent out wouldn't be weak. They didn't know the other party's strength and didn't dare to make a move rashly. If they were no match, it would be a huge loss of face. They both wanted someone else to make the first move and test each other's strength. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.